keep their season alive here without sensing up the Leafs today as if they had kind of made peace with that reality. Sheldon Keefe's purpose in addressing his team before give them reasons to believe. We have heard things from the Leafs over the last few days, saying things like, still alive in this series, that we've got to believe in one another, and those crazy comebacks they have happened before.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. How's everybody doing out there today? It's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins for the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs today in the first round. All 4 elimination games in the docket, all series 3-1. So for the Maple Leafs, it sounds like this: Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi, Mitchell Marner, Morgan Rielly, Ilya Lyubushkin, John Tavares, Matthew Knies, Willie Nylander with Simon Benoit and Jake McCabe, Pontus Holmberg, Nick Robertson, Kelly Armstrong, David Kampf, Connor Dewar, and Ryan Reeves. Joel Edmondson and Timothy Liljegren to be the back-end defense. I believe it's going to be Joseph Woll in net. And for the Boston Bruins, head coached by Jim Montgomery, it's Charlie Coyle, Brad Marchand, Morgan Geekie with Mason Lohrei and Charlie McAvoy, Pavel Zacha, Jake DeBrusk, David Pastrnak with Hampus, Lindholm, and Brandon Carlo, Trent Frederick, JVR, Danton Heinen, Jesper Boqvist, Justin Brazo, and Pat Maroon with Derek Forbert and Parker Wotherspoon. Jeremy should be the goaltender of record. Look, it's do or die right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Where have we heard this before? But Elliot Friedman, the Canadian journalist that we all know and love on the Sportsnet side throughout the podcasts of all the thoughts and everything else, had mentioned this. It comes down to Auston Matthews an illness. He's not here today. But it also, he believes, it stems to be something else. Something else is at play here for Auston Matthews. Decision, he's not going to be playing today. So your reset, Boston, able to start with a win in the series. They were 4-0 in the season series. Starting to win the playoffs, they were up 4-0 after 2 periods. Jeremy Swayman 35-36 and a 5-1 victory. Toronto came back with a 3-2. Carson Matthews scored in the second and third, and Ullmark was 31-34 in the loss. Ullmark hasn't played since. Boston won Game 3 4-2, 28 out of 30. Marchand had back-to-back goals. And in Game 4, Boston up 3-1, 3-0 after 2 periods. Swayman again perfect, 24 of 25. Samsonov pulled. Is his time in Toronto done? I threw that in the question mark. And if this here, have an open discussion. I think that we do, because we've all talked about it. There really isn't much more reason for me to dip back into this series and say things should or shouldn't happen. I just threw this out in the question because we've been asking ourselves this for what, 3-4 years now? And last year, 2023, victory over the Bolts, that kind of maybe silenced it only for a moment. But this was the YouTube question that I threw out there. So the Twitter, X Space, and YouTube at John Roy Not. How do you fix the Maple Leafs? I said, I'm asking an honest question, so humor me. I put fire Sheldon Keefe, the head coach, fire Brendan Shanahan, the GM, trade Mitch Marner, one of the core 4, or all of the above, blow it up. Let me know, because if we get to the end of the series today, I'm going to go ahead and just take minutes in the expanded post game and leave you my thoughts. Look, I know not everything is going to add up in the salary cap for Brad Treliving. Now, it's not Kyle Dubas, it's Brad Treliving from the Flames to the Leafs. But there's got to be something that changes here today. And for the Leafs fans, when you're playing without Auston Matthews tonight, how do you replace his production? I don't care what people say that he hasn't done that well in the playoffs right now. Forwards that you have on this team that actually plays defense and gives an F. So you really have a hard time replacing somebody like that. I know fans production or bust, but if I have a defensive forward that plays a good 200-foot game and believes in what he's trying to do and actually shows emotion alongside Morgan Rielly, what else do I really have besides those two? So I just wanted to throw it out there that way. And Boston, again, we talked about the way their lines have been stacked. Again, no Bergeron or David Krejci from last year from having the best regular season record of all time. Yes, they lost a 3-1 series lead to the Florida Panthers, but there's 1-2, 223, 919. Joseph's going to get the start today, and we'll see who's going to be on the other side. I imagine it's going to be Jeremy Swayman. It is 3-0, 134 against 956 save percentage. I guess you don't need a shutout when your save percentage is at 956. I'm going to give this with you. It's a solo call out. Nava says he can't jump in because he's got some shows to host. He's got some stuff to do. So I'm going to give this to you here, and then we'll figure out what happens at the end of the day. I should be back tomorrow for the Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. That one at 2-2. We'll give you scoring updates across the lake. So here we go. I got the Sportsnet feed CBC here for the solo call. Is this one sent all the way down the ice for Joseph Wall? As they'll go ahead and stop it. It's again his first full start. I think they had to do it. Morgan Rielly off the rush. He fires it toward the net looking for Nyes. As no tripping penalty was called. Morgan Geekie will send this the other way for the Bees. Off the drop, Charlie Coyle. Geekie working his way in behind the net. Set up for Marchand, but he lost it in between his skates. Now near the right side, Charlie Coyle. Looking to the right side again. I apologize. I've got people cutting grass, so I hope it doesn't cut too much in the play-by-play. But the window is shut. Morgan Rielly off the backhand. Trying to get the light off as well because I know it's hot in here. As this is sent around, John Tavares. Pick this up, Danton Heinen. As Tyler Bertuzzi gets in his way, Jeremy Lozon. As this is in behind the net, here's a pass out front between the circles. Domi fans on it. Gets back, shoots it wide up the right post. And now the Bees can go ahead and escape here as an outstretched pass too far from Mason Lohrei. This will be iced. 18:43. A shot on goal. Again, Joseph Wall, number 60, his first start in the postseason. It's kind of been off and on for Joseph Wall over the last couple of years, has it not? Spent some time with the Marlies, spent some time with the Leafs. He has to be the savior for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs over the last couple of years. Now in 2024, in this version, they're down 3-1, and here he is again. This is near the right side for Bertuzzi. Bruin. For Marner. Dancing. And behind the cage, trying to bank off the backside of Swayman. Couldn't hit Bertuzzi. And now Liljegren knocked this one away. This is an opportunity here for Mitchell. Get it in behind his net as the Maple Leafs are in the full white jersey. Yellow and white striping. Willie Nylander now. Off the back pass as this one goes in deep behind Swayman's goal crease. Near the left side, I'll turn around. Pontus Holmberg will have it. Simon Benoit. Take a slap pass around the end boards as it's Matt Grizzly. Dangerous pass. He throws it in between three Maple Leafs, but Parker Wotherspoon's got his back. Near the right side. Cross check not called. Turnaround chance. This gets blocked aside by the Bees. Picked up now off the rush and gaining across the red line. How is this game 5 going to be played? Again, Boston has a chance to get some early rest. They're going to have a date with the Florida Panthers, whoever wins this series between Toronto and Boston. So the Bruins, they wouldn't mind these teams tearing each other apart. Near the right side, here's a wrister. Stop by Wall. Stood that one up pretty well. Off the back pass now. This is near the right side. Mason Lohrei off the give and go. This is near the left side wall. Toronto. Liljegren. Get this one away from the backhand, although he absorbs a hit. Benoit pushes it ahead for David Kampf. As this is wristed aside. Heinen trying to get this out. Good play. As this is near the right side, but Liljegren there off the back check. We'll put this one down deep. Timothy will get it now. Get this across the embracing B. Willie Nylander, turn and shoot. This one gets blocked. Nice bank pass from Marchand. As it's Charlie Coyle, he gets hooked up a little bit. Joel Edmondson gets it to the left side red line for the Leafs. Edmondson now. Good touch pass. This is in across the red line and intercepted by Coyle. We'll dump it in. Liljegren now off the backhand feed. Almost intercepted by Charlie Coyle. 2-seed role for Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. They lost Pavel Zacha as well. Still have depth, not the high end of those guys, but still, this team is very dangerous, especially when you have the best goaltending tandem in the league. This is near the right side wall. Grizzly gets thefted by Domi. Pasta trying to get this one in between his skates. Jake McCabe joining in on the fun. Bertuzzi pokes it loose. Domi still there near the left side. So great sandpaper on the top line for Domi. Is Bertuzzi off the screen. He's out in front right now. There's a sauce pass. Lost in between the skates for McCabe. Bertuzzi and Domi still trying to do as it's Marner now. Back past Benoit. Into the traffic. Bertuzzi. This is stopped by the left leg of Swain. As the Leafs keep this out in front again. Marner trying to set up Bertuzzi. in tight. Bertuzzi not letting go off this stick lift. It's lost in between. Tries to find it. Pinballs away from him. And the Bruins, they'll collectively take a sigh of relief on an icing. I think they had to. 3-1. Good forechecking pressure here for the Leafs. And they forced a Bruins ice. This could be the best pressure that the Leafs have had in this series so far. I know they've won game 2, but start to this game right now when they absolutely have to have it. Domi and Bertuzzi doing some good work on that. Bertuzzi and Marner, so just a lot of hard-working shift on the top line for Sheldon Keefe. Johnny T will win this one in Nylander. This is wristed up high, and this is saved with the glove hand. Now back up behind the cage, the Bees will have it. They'll make an outstretched pass. Morgan Rielly gets the steal across the left side point. Sent in. Montgomery squad watches Jeremy Swayman play this in behind his net. This is a knuckle puck, from the neutral zone for Morgan Rielly. Rielly across the left side red line. Nick Robertson. This one gets sent back in deep. One and too many men on the ice. Did the Boston crowd for the Leafs? Not going to get it though. Morgan Rielly. One more time. Wotherspoon make his pass. As the Bruins try to take this left to right for the rest of the first period, again in the black jerseys with the yellow and white striping, Maple Leafs, and the white jerseys with the blue pants. Here is a whistle at 14:30. I don't think we're getting any playoffs. The Bruins 7-1 record, 28 goals to 14. Power play percentage is 39% to 8, and a 12% shooting percentage to 5. That is complete domination. 1-16 series record when trailing 3-1 in the best of 7. So that tells you that it's over for the Maple Leafs, but it's also shown you in this series they can force Game 7 and then lose there. To the bitter pill that has to be swallowed for Leafs fans. Domi. Draw McCabe fires, scores! That top line has been excellent so far in this game. Maple Leaf squares a buzz, and they should be. Max Domi with a key draw win. McCabe turns and blasts this thing near the left circle. I don't think it. Trent Frederick can't win the draw. Goes back to McCabe, and I think it might have bounced either off of Bertuzzi. Doesn't matter anyway. Domi with a clean win. This set up there for Marner, and this is just blasted right through the top of the crossbar. Swayman might have got screened by his own man. He jumped to try to look at this on skates as much as you can. He never could track it. So Jake McCabe, he will get the first playoff goal. No bounce. And the Leafs are running here. It's a great start for them as this one is dipped in. Morgan Rielly will send this around the kick plate now. Bertuzzi try to rush the other way. Domi already got a point here as this is near the right side. He's been playing really well so far in this first as it's Marner. Domi with it. Domi now back to the point as the screen. Blocker before it ever hits Swayman. Now this is an opportunity here for Geeky. Cross pass. This one blocked into the netting off of Marchand chance. 13:55 in the first. Max Domi. Good start to the game. Jake McCabe starts the scoring.
Never feel like no matter what you got, and someone's got more than that. More to spend, more places to go. And just when you think there couldn't possibly be more, you realize there's more to life than this. The original.
Step into a world far beyond expectations. Sportsnet, beyond exciting. $100 beyond the seats gives you exclusive access to unique experiences across Canada. Get more with Rogers.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every moment in sports should be epic. This Wednesday's curling fever has taken over the world. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. When you visit Audible, you can do anything. Chase your thrills. journey of great unknown. Oh. Discover something unbelievable. Ignite your imagination. Period. Brought to you by Scotiabank. A new Scotia banking package. Sign up for Sportsnet Plus. Get 6 months free. Visit scotiabank.com/never-miss-hockey.
So the effort on the forecheck has been really good for the Maple Leafs this series. I don't think we can say that. Well, in this game, I should say. They're really good in this game. And I don't think we've been able to say that for a while. This McAvoy Bertuzzi line, and they might need to repeat this going into Game 6, should they get there, as it's a lead with 14:55 in the first, still very early. So defensive zone draw. Lead. 13:45 left in the first round. With you on the solo call, they got the Sportsnet feed. So first time I will pull up CBC, which I really definitely enjoy that side of the cast that we can get. As is McCabe, picked up off the backhand. It's intercepted. Morgan geeking. Now McCabe's. Jake will make this pass here for David Camp. Again, they're playing without Auston Matthews. I think from what Elliot Friedman was saying, it's more than just the illness, maybe something else at play right now. He's not in the lineup. Toronto's got the lead. It's near the right side wall. Here's an opportunity for Liljegren. Now this bounced away. Nylander. We'll set up now for Matthew Nyes as he'll go ahead and do the forecheck effort. This is off a Toronto Maple Leaf stick. Sent down, but this will be iced. So 4-1. Toronto has the shot advantage, 1-0 the goal advantage. We'll get you set up here. This was a face-off win near the left eye. Max Stone will win and draw it back. Mitch Marner touches it to McCabe. McCabe fires to the traffic. And the Leafs have the early lead. Again, they're 3-1 in this series of the Boston Bruins. Bruins have a chance to close them out today. And there's also 3 other series today, all at 3-1. So 4 potential elimination games in the NHL, 2 potential in the association tonight. As this is near the right side defensive zone, Liljegren trying to pick it back up. Gain the entry now does Matthew Nyes. This will dump it in. He's got John Tavares with him on the line. Tavares off the spin and turn, wearing the captaincy. As Rielly crisscross with Johnny T. This is near the right side now. Gets intercepted. Here's Pasta. He lost Gates, and this will be dumped in here for Joseph Woll. We'll play it. Back in behind the net now. Tavares, as one of the Leafs gets absolutely wiped out. Affected by Pasta. Pasta try to get it near the left side down. Off a long flip, it's Jake DeBrusk. Go ahead and send this one back to the Boston Bruins defensive core. Brandon Carlo. 12 first. As it's Pasta, we'll send it in. Too far for Marchand. Ilya Lyubushkin. Back in behind the cage of Joseph Woll. Good hit avoidance there. Joel Edmondson gained the entry. Drop for Bertuzzi. Again, he spent last year with the Boston Bruins. Here's an outstretch, but take off a one-on-one, but the shot gets wristed high. Had to shoot quick. As this is near the left side, Nick Robertson gets dispossessed of the puck. And this will get sent back down deep. Charlie McAvoy will pick it up after Swayman stops it. 4-1 is still the shots on goal. Jake McCabe with the first marker of the game here in Game 5. And Toronto needs all these wins. They got to win 3 straight to win this series. Opportunity now for Pontus Holmberg as his wrister goes off of. Now back in behind the cage, Willie Nylander trying to pry it loose. Charlie McAvoy. Go ahead and get this one to Frederick as this one's fired in. Near the left side red line, spin and turn, Jake McCabe. Frederick tries to find it. Near the left side as Nick Robertson is down trying to hold this puck, but now Matt Grizzly. It's the steal. Grizzly now find the entry, but Kelly Armstrong in his face. This is set now to left side red line and intercepted by Parker Wotherspoon. Almost halfway through this first period. This one dumped in safely. Joseph Woll. Settle it down for Morgan Riley to left for the rest of this first period. Slammed in for Jeremy Swayman. Good forecheck there for the Leafs, and this will go all the way back in their defensive end. Morgan Riley. One more time from Ilya Lyubushkin. This one's fired in again. Swayman did the same thing. Sent it around the goal crease. This one bounced in. Back to the Bruins. They'll get a chance to start with Carlo. Carlo absorbs a hit, and now Walt will play this out of his goal crease. It's been a repeat over the last 3 minutes. Almost gets dispossessed is Domi, but it's still with the Leafs now. Just onside Tavares. Drop. Edmondson cutting to the net. Shot goes wide. Matthew Nyes will keep it in. Forward side, but he had to play defense there. Johnny T will send this back around the end boards. Liljegren back to Tavares. Spin and turn. Matthew Nyes can't get there, but Mason Lohrei lost it for a moment, but the Bees are theirs. The pass is backhand lazy pass. This is sent in deep. Pavel Zacha against Liljegren. Pin against the boards is Zacha. Fired in toward the point. Here's a race with Charlie McAvoy back there first. McAvoy will get it back. So this is for Mason Lohrei, 6'5" on both. McAvoy gain the entry. He gets slammed near the right side wall. Pops right back up though. Find it. In between his skates, got Domi, a 2-on-1. Here's the cross, and this one gets blocked. Domi still trying to find it now. Here's the wrister to the trap. Marner. This goes up into the netting. So Domi had Marner on a 2-on-1 from left to right, and that pass was in tight. I think it bounced off a Bruins skate out in front. Otherwise, it would have been a wide open chance that Swayman would have had to save. We're going to take a break. Yeah, in a few moments. It's still 1-0 for the Leafs.
A financial plan should include benefits. Make your life richer with personalized budget tips and insights with Social Smart Money by Advice Plus. You're rich and quick.
Meanwhile, at Verbo, vacation rentals are just for likes. Try one you'll actually like.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can still wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can also track your same-game parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Looking for effective pain relief? Choose Tylenol. It's clinically proven to start working in 15 to 20 minutes. Tylenol.
Well, the Leafs have been chasing through much of this series. Hence the importance of an early goal.
Yeah, you go through a series where you're trailing the entire time. It seems like you're chasing the game, and then you get that all for the first goal. And now you've had the lead for a good 5-6 minutes, and it just changes the way you play. You got to build on some confidence in the way. And, you know, coming into this game, I said Jim Montgomery feeling the way his team would play. Would they be ready to start with the raucous crowd? He thought the TD Garden would be going, and his team needed to. You know, this has been a pretty good road start by the Leafs to keep the puck out of their zone, spend a good chunk of it in the Boston zone.
That's 4-1. The shot attempts 15-5.
So shots officially 4-1. Attempts are 15-5 for Toronto. Another defensive zone draw. Nick Robertson gets his chance blocked, and Parker Waterspoon will get this one ahead as Van Ryk will send this one in. Again, he's able to score 5-hole. Again, to the Toronto Maple Leafs fans' dismay, they talk about it. It happens a lot, but Samson iced. 8:40 left to go in the first, so the Leafs line can't change. I do think the one thing I will say has outclassed Sheldon Keefe in this series. I know that's not a surprise, but I think Jim Montgomery had to face a little bit of criticism from last year, considering a 3-1 lead against the Panthers. And you have a chance to right some wrongs here. If you get any sort of injury to Swayman or Ullmark, you don't keep them in too long. They're trying to get Dave back with that series and get some revenge. That second round one could be pretty good. Pasta, this puck bounced off of him. Now Liljegren back in behind his own end. He is pinned near the right side boards for Kelly Armstrong. We'll send this one near the right side, Morgan Rielly. And the left forward. Too far for Robertson, as this will go to Mason Lohrei now. Spending time on that first line. It's Bruins want to add grit and size. Got Charlie McAvoy with him. Lohrei to McAvoy. As possible, gets settled near the left wing. Spin and turn there, David Camp will cut off the angle. This goes back to Mason. So good defensive zone battle for these two teams right now, but Toronto up ahead first, 5-1 on the shot board, and 7:50 left to go in the first. As this is near the right side for McCabe, we'll go ahead and fire it in. Near the left side red line, bodies will come together as the Bruins get taken off the puck there. Ryan Reeves, there's a hand in the air. Might be an interference call against the Bees according to the crowd reaction. 7 first. Unless there was a delayed offsides that I missed. My apologies there if I did. I don't see penalties just yet, as this one is sent into the left side red line, and there was a hit in near the bench. As this one's dumped across, that's all I'm seeing off the highlights now. A rolling puck bounced off the edge of the net for Joseph Wall, so that's all it was. It's going to be another offensive zone draw for John Tavares. Carlo gets spin and turn around. Hampus Lindholm now on the second line. He's not out there with McAvoy anymore like he was in the first last year when he was really good off that deadline pickup. Now for Danton Heinen, he turns it over. Nice. Will spin and shoot it right on, and it's saved by Jeremy Swayman. With 7:23 left to go in the first, so shots on goal now rate 6-1. And Jake McCabe still has the long goal from Mitch. Offensive zone possession time, not very much, but 3:36 for the Leafs, 1:47 for the Bruins. They look like they're still trying to get their feet moving. Again, this is only one of the potential elimination games of the 3 that are tonight, and I will go ahead and give you some scoring updates as we get across to the solo call. Faceoffs are 9-2 now for the Leafs, as Morgan Rielly. Now for Liljegren. Here's the traffic, and bodies are everywhere out in front of the crew. Swayman can't find it at all, as it's Bertuzzi. Now for Domi, near the left side red line, it's Tyler Bertuzzi trying to locate this. Now it's Rielly, left circle, he'll shoot it, and a 5-hole save for Swayman. He's got it, 6:59 in the first. Shots are 7-1, face-off 1. Again, the only thing I can say here for Leafs fans is maybe you should be up by more. You'd feel a little bit more comfortable. McAvoy and Bertuzzi got all tied up in a net battle, and Swayman gets a little extra shove there on Tyler Bertuzzi. And if it's John Cooper and there was a goal there and it gets overturned, I would think Sheldon Keefe would be a little upset, and so would Jeremy Swayman. I think he had some right bouts to be able to make, did John Cooper, as far as Florida Panthers, but still, they got beat up pretty good. It was 6-1. It would have been 6-3. The left side, the Bees finally get a defensive zone draw. Pastrnak. In between his legs off the toe drag, will send this back to D. It's Carlo near the right side. There's Heinen. It's pinned against the boards now. Wall on the butterfly near the right post. John Tavares. Here's a wrister. This one goes wide of his left leg, where Boston has an opportunity with Danton Heinen to go ahead and pick it up. Spun back around now for Jim Montgomery's squad as they'll look to get settled again. They're going to take some line changes. The defensive line's still out there. Derek Forbert and Parker Wotherspoon, third line defense out there now, is off the chip and chase. This is a spin and turn and a brutal turnover for the Leafs. Honestly, I'm not sure how it happened. It was the slot, and Trent Frederick is a look what I found at 6:06 in the first, and Boston just on their second shot on goal of the game gets one past Wall, and this was just on my last look near the right side behind the net. It bounces off Wall's stick. Simon Benoit tries to get it out, tries to get it to Liljegren, and Benoit's pass gets deflected off a Bruins skate right to Frederick, right on top of the crease. That is as bad as it gets there for the Leafs trying to throw it out. I understand that it seems kind of like a lucky bounce, but if you're going to clear something, you got to do it across the boards. You can't do it in front of the net. And Trent Frederick makes Toronto pay big time. Now Rielly. As this is near the left side wall, and if you're the Leafs, all you can do is continue what you're doing on offense. But you're the Bruins, you've just been given life off a careless turnover. Maybe it was incidental, but still, it's got to go against the boards. Near the right side now, Pontus Holmberg. Rielly, Liljegren, Robertson fires. Stopped by Swayman. 5:32. Now shots on goal rate 8-2. We will take a break. Trent Frederick, the gift of all gifts. It's 1-1 now, late in the first.
A Canadian team hasn't won in over 30 years. Maybe it's time we try something different. This playoff season, let's cheer. We've always cheered against. Playoffs at Boston Pizza. We're sharing a Wilson. Backyard is big enough for everyone. Canadian, Export, Ultra, Excel. Wilson. Everyone in. Frederick won the award as the seventh man, the unsung hero in Boston, and he's becoming a sung hero here in the postseason.
And he ends up with Chris and Maroon at the end here. He just falls into the front. It's open, puts some pressure on Benoit. That creates that little backhand pass that goes off the skate. Breaks, and you're in the right spot. He hung behind the play and was able to capitalize to get this arena that was a little bit subdued and a little surprised by some energy yet again.
This is the second shot on goal for Boston. Second assist of the series for Patrick Maroon, who has points with 6 different teams in the playoffs. Only Golden Arrow had more with points in 7. The 7 different teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Here's Domi winning another
Offensive zone draw for the Leafs. It's Frederick and Maroon with the goal and the primary assist off the clearing attempt that bounced. Domi now, as this one is sent in. Marchand will try to go ahead and locate it, but a good spin and turn. Leafs with a great job with this puck possession in the first, but it's still 1-1. After that brutal turnover right in front of the dot, it's Boston with a delayed penalty. That's good news for Toronto, but their power play has been anemic, to say the least. And now they don't have Auston Matthews in this game, so how is that going to work, and what lines are Sheldon? So 5:07 left to go in the first. It's now a 1-1 game. Trent Frederick and Jake McCabe, your goal scorers. Here's a slash in behind the net, maybe a cross check. I'm taking a look at it now. Cross check against Brandon Carlo on Tyler Bertuzzi. So Carlo going to sit in the box for cross checking, and the Leafs go to the power play. So 5:07 left in the first. Shots on goal are 8-2. Offensive zone draws, or I should say draws in general, are 10-1 Leafs. See Tavares, he can't win it. This will be straight back for Parker Wotherspoon. He's sent down. The power play just 1 for 14 in this series. That is almost Tampa Bay Lightning numbers a couple of seasons ago in the playoffs against the Avs. That is brutal. Find the entry now for Tavares. Domi near the left side. A little bit of a scoring push and sandpaper there mix. Here it'll be Rielly as it bounced away from Marchand. And now John Tavares back to Morgan Rielly. He's still part of the core 4, but again, maybe the 5 portion. This is sent back now for Max. We'll find the entry near the left side wing off a cross pass. Wide open, Tavares. He shoots it low. Bruins. They can't take it out now. This is in behind the net now for Willie Nylander. Good sauce pass. Now Domi. Good stick in the lane for the Bees. Turn. Power play was 0 for 3 last game for the Leafs. Domi. Drop pass. Now Nicholas Robertson sending in for Willie Nylander. Right circle off the drop, and Boston gets an easy clear down the ice. Joseph Wall will stop it again. He's only at this point with that turnover there. 1 out of 2, 50%. Sent back down deep, or Wall has to stop it one more time. Bertuzzi, Robertson, Youngkruk, Liljegren, McCabe on this secondary power play unit. Bertuzzi sends it back. Nick Robertson will leave it near the left side blue line. Bertuzzi be fan on a 1T, and again, easily cleared down the ice for the Bees. My oh my, this has been brutal to watch if you're a Leafs fan. McCabe will send this near the left side, gain the entry off the wall. Try to chip and chase. Now I'm actually trying to see the chase portion of it. That's a step. Bertuzzi, 1T fanned on, and this is near the left side again, sent all the way down, and the Bees kill the penalty. Down to 2:55 in the first. Find the entry now. Marchand trying to go ahead and give some forecheck pressure, and this will be sent in. Camp with Ryan Reeves trying to go ahead and find this puck. This will be gloved down. Camp will send it down deep. Too far for Simon Benoit as the Bruins will chip this off the glass. 2:35 left to go in this first. The Leafs have been outscored 5-2 in this first. Now you can make it 5-2 combined with the 1-1. As that's a good finish there. Pasta gets pasted near the right side. And Grzelcyk, stick lifted, sent in for Liljegren. Too wide and behind the net as Willie Nylander tries to fire it on. Pass Swayman. Pontus Holmberg gets the steal. Let's go D-to-D Rielly touch pass. Back to the defense one more time. Now it's Rielly. He'll shoot it right on. And it's stopped by the right glove hand of Swayman right at the 2-minute mark. 9-2 shots on goal. John Under with you on the solo call. We're at Scotiabank Arena. And I shouldn't say Scotiabank, I should say TD Garden. My goodness, too much cough syrup. Woke up a little bit of a sore throat, so maybe a little bit delirious, but still, we should be okay to do this call. I wanted to give you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 9-2 shots on goal. Again, goals for Jake McCabe and Trent Frederick. Got the Sportsnet feed on the solo call today. First time we're rocking Sportsnet in the playoffs, when I'm used to always using that, but when you're working with other teammates, you want to make sure the feeds are somewhat in sync. Another offensive zone, 11-1 for the Leafs right now on that side. Bertuzzi fires it on, and this one off his stick and right in the right glove hand of Swayman with a $1.54 in the first. So I really can say this, in Toronto's, the coverage there with Chris Cuthbert is really pushing this with Craig Simpson to cut out the negativity and be positive. Just be positive. It's almost sickening to that point, but they're just punching that button so much. Morgan Geekie 1-2 on the draw is Domi 7-7. Now Rielly, Domi, spin turn. Here's another wrister. This is stopped by Swayman again. Bertuzzi providing the screen. Shots now 11-2. Toronto with a 1. There hasn't been a lot to get the voice register up right now on the first, so I think I'm kind of maintaining that neutral tone here. There's been good face-off for Domi, and the offensive end 7-7 variety. Traffic out in front for Bertuzzi against Swayman, but the score's still 1-1. Domi wins it again on the other side of the right wing. So Domi, on this pass gets centered on front. Here's a slapper, stopped by Swayman, loose up for Rielly. Near the left side, chip it in deep. This is Rielly. Now Mason Lohrei finally gets to touch this puck, left to right, outstretched pass, pretty. Coyle, spin and turn. We'll send it in deep. Jake McCabe will get the intercept. He's Toronto's opening goal scorer. Trent Frederick is the other. Boston has just 2 shots, but Frederick's got a goal as it's tied 1-1. Outstretched now, Morgan Rielly. Shot attempts 29-7 Leafs as it's Morgan Rielly. We'll get this back across the Bees logo and settle it down now for Joel Edmondson. Timothy Liljegren as the defense continues to change. Here's a drop for Matthew Nylander, but it's too strong. Now Charlie Coyle will send this one back. Left to right come the Bees as they'll flip it in. And for Hampus, Lindholm will give chase. Liljegren turns it over, but Nyes is there. John Tavares, number 91, a saw speed, but it's too soft. Here's a race off the back pass, too far for Pasta, and a stop at 26.2. Again, shots on goal are 12-2. Shot attempts about 27-5. And you look at the team stats. It is hits 16-15 Leafs, face-offs 14-4 Leafs, Domi 7-7. So what would you change other than the score line? This might be the best the Leafs have looked since that Game 2 win, maybe even the best they've been in the series, although they're down 3-1. It's another draw. Leafs win it again. And Domi won it again. 8 for 8 so far in this first. Again, for those that like to sneeze at face-offs, again, you're starting with 19-2 record without Matthews in the lineup in the regular season. So those numbers are quite good. Something, maybe not. 22 seconds left to go. Neutral zone draw. And it's going to be Domi one more time. 8 for 8 on the draws. DeBrus jumps early. Domi wins it again. And this one is sent into the left side circle. McAvoy intercepted near the wall. This is with the Leafs. Liljegren sends it in deep. 1T fanned on it. Time for one more rush, but you got to shoot it quicker for the Bees. Cross. Van Riemsdyk. Too much there. Will end the first. A little bit of a scrum, but nothing's going to come of it. McCabe and Frederick are goal scorers. Shot board 12-2. Toronto. But it's tied after 20. Come back. We'll call the second period.
It's Bertuzzi into the slot. No more backhander. A saucer pass that took one hop. Try to get down on one knee to get a piece of it. Didn't quite connect.
So McCabe and Frederick, the goal scorers in the opening period of team number 5. Shots 12-2 in favor of Toronto. Giving up our first intermission run with Kelly, Timmins, and Elliott. This period brought to you by Scotiabank. Enter for your chance to see your first hockey game with a trip to the Stanley Cup Final at scotiabank.com/.
So let's get you some team stats. Shots on goal, 12-2 for Toronto. Hits, tied at 16 apiece. Face-offs, 16-4 for the Leafs. Block. I threw that in there because it's a little bit lopsided. Face-offs, or not face, power play opportunities, just 0 for 1 for the Leafs.
We are always in motion. Yet in this, fixing that, arriving, detentions in life, and around flow. Sometimes it's beautiful.
So I'm going to leave this to you like this. Max Domi, Bertuzzi wins a draw at the left circle, and McCabe blasts a shot through the screen. The Leafs lead at 35. I love the effort on the forecheck for them as well. At 5:32, Lions get a gift, a clear attempt behind the net of Wall instead of sending the puck near the left side of the boards. It bounces right on top of the crease as Trent Frederick gets a gift and he lasered it past the wall. Domi was 9 for 9 on the draw. What would Toronto change beside the score? Shots on goal 12-2 for the Leafs. It's tied at 16. Face-off 16-4 for Toronto. Block shots 10-3 Boston. Power plays 0 for 1 for Toronto. Boston didn't have one. Looks to be all Leafs, but the score is tied.
Always a good time and always a great deal.
Watch CBC News
I'm going to go ahead just for about 5 minutes. Here's my question on the YouTube side from the guy. Maple Leafs asking an honest question, so humor me. Fire Sheldon Keefe, head coach. Fire Brendan Shanahan, the GM. Trade Mitch Marner, move core 4, or all of the above, blow it up. Blow it up. So thank you for that. Keep those coming and let me know. Again, I'm not trying to throw salt in the wound for any of the Leafs fans. Again, I'm a Red Wings fan on that side. I bleed the wing wheel. Again, I know the Maple Leafs, I think more fondly than not, honestly. I was able to spend a couple games at LCA alongside some Leafs fans. I know some things can be a little bit mucked up a little bit, but honestly, they're the nicest people. I just imagine that they're suffering because it's been a while. So near the left side, it is the Islanders with the puck. I'm not going to do the full play-by-play here to rest the pipes. You get a whistle. So 2 goals for Carolina, 1 for the New York Islanders. We'll take a break. Chef says, cut Cops in half and give it to Kane. Well, that makes too much sense, doesn't it, Chef? If that was something that they could actually do, I would slam that and stamp it in ink.
And with this latest offer, you can win big. Now that is deserving of some victory stick taps.
Chef, let me ask you this question while you're in here. I have 4 elimination games. Let's start with the ice in the NHL. It is all 3-1. Maple Leafs Bruins, Islanders Hurricanes, Avalanche Jets, Preds Canucks. You tell me, in between the Preds, the Jets, the Islanders, or the Leafs, if any, who avoids elimination today? That's my question to you. Type that in the comment box. If the light dies down a little bit from the sun, I'll go ahead and bump this light on now, but I'm keeping it a little bit cooler in this room.
It's an even easier decision than this. Great clutch hit there. Cheer. Hang in there, rookie. Yeah, even easier than that. What's in your? Your pain shouldn't be minimized. With medicine, gets better. All of us.
Chef says he wants to vote Leafs, but he's going Preds. So I voted Leafs yesterday on the side with Alec Nava when he was in here. I know that you jumped in. They do have something to prove. I agree with you completely there. I just don't know how you recover being up 3-1, having an empty net pull on one side in Vancouver, just maybe sucking the life out, maybe sucking the soul out of it. That's just me. I don't disagree with you. I think that's where I would lean if it wasn't for that. That's all I'm saying. I like that comment. Because that was just brutal. I'm going to flip back into the Leafs in a moment. They're in intermission, so we're going to get a live look at Carolina and the New York Islanders. If there is any updates there, I will throw those out. Colorado in this late game at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. Again, maybe they'll carry the Jets and Avalanche live look in, or the Canucks Preds in Hockey Night in Canada. Probably Canucks Preds, but the Jets, I feel like they're playing more of a game in the Avalanche's hands, meaning they're going too much offensive heavy when they're more of a defensive team. Yes, the Jets have the personnel to do it, but the way that the Avalanche have woken up their offense, that's absolutely freaking scary at this point. I don't even know how you answer that. And then the sad part is you go into this next round in a 7-game series again, in between Dallas and Vegas, who Dallas came back and they had gut check. Both road teams win both games. If the Avalanche get this closed out, guess who they get to play against? Dallas and Vegas. They might win a 7-game series, and the Avalanche might be able to pick up the pieces. That's just me. I think the Avalanche find their way to the Western Conference Finals, and then we can talk about what else is left next. Got a couple of limits. Well, the Knicks are up 35-31 on the Sixers. Quick 11 points for Tyrese Maxey, 10 for Tobias Harris, and Jalen Brunson also has 10 for the Knicks. And the Knicks up 37-31 at SG. The Magic and the Cavs, that one's tied at 2. That one's gone both ways. And Pacers-Bucks. Pacers have an opportunity to eliminate the Bucks completely. That one in Fiserv Forum. But I'm Doc Rivers, and I've seen this story before. Just don't know why you made that hire. I know the Bucks at 43 have not been able to set the world on fire. 31-11 at home, that's great, but just brutal on the road, all things considered, turned around. And I just don't know what else you do. You got to fire the coach and move on. Sometimes the easy button is just fire the coach, and that's not always the answer. I think this. That's often with your tail between your legs or go out and play some hockey. Absolutely. Man up and play some hockey. Going to be hard to stop McKinnon. I don't been talked about with Connor McDavid, and for good reason. Probably is the 1A, but McKinnon's always been the 1B for me. I know it hasn't always been that way over the last couple of years. Personally, my favorite player to watch is Nathan McKinnon. That might be might piss some people off for lack of a better word, but that's what I'm going with.
Talk about the experience added with Gensel. That's up. Kings have 14 players with 54 games of playoffs experience. That's the NHL. Quick shot there by Marcel. Before that, he did two by Brady Shea. Takes the puck, down.
Barzell had a chance right out in front that was stopped by Freddie Anderson. Shots on goal are 8-5. Carolina's out in front 2-1 with 9:05 left to go in the first. We'll be right back, and then we will flip back to Leafs Bruins. He said he's better all around. McKinnon has size on him. Dude's a stud. I agree with you, Chef. I'm glad that you're on the board with me. You don't have to be. I appreciate it. That's what I like about Nathan McKinnon. He pretty much does everything. Connor McDavid's fantastic, He's the best player in the world, according to a lot. I have him just on the outside of McKinnon. I think being second best is not a bad thing.
That's a good look, boys. Every team, every fan. Discover. At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams. All the way to our latest. All new, all electric. Honda Prologue. Our greatest innovation.
I'm going to flip back in. Plus, and again, I know it's more an indictment on Ken Holland because my hatred knows no bounds for the end of it. But Nathan McKinnon's got something that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl doesn't. You know what that is?
Okay, never mind. Why don't we hear from Quinn Hughes following the miracle in Music City?
Not too much emotional high just because we really
Speaking of studs,
and
Cale Makar, probably the best defenseman in the world, Quinn Hughes.
we give him too much.
How far back is Quinn Hughes? He's probably right there.
Having those shifts where we control the game, we do really like that. So I don't think there should be too much of a high. I think there should be a little bit more of an urgency than anything.
And Raleigh, Carolina's trying to close out the pesky Islanders. It's 1-0 right now. This is Svechnikov trying to throw the net to Aho, but it goes off at board 2. So in the net, that's 2-0
So
Canes.
I'm looking at the CBC side now. So Robert Bertuzzo, puck bounced off him as Svechnikov tried to find Sebastian Aho. The Carolina Islander one. This goes in the net. Again, we got two Sebastian Ahos going against each other as we had our last series. Still 1-1 in the intermission. In between the Leafs and Bees, that's our featured game. Again, we'll have probably in the third period of this, maybe can give you a small update between Colorado and Winnipeg, depending on how long this game goes, or Nashville, Vancouver, but we'll probably have closer the final and realization what's going to happen to the New York Islanders. I didn't take a sweep in between New York and Washington, but it was, I think, the Carolina series in between the Islanders, I had that at 5. It would be right at that. And Toronto, I had them in 7. That doesn't look like that's going to happen. There is a lot of tumultuism, and again, if this does end today in the series, I'll take about an extra 5 minutes and give my personal recap-wise for cap friendly, but we're going to have to make do as far as the Maple Leafs discussion, because if it ends today, we've had 3-4 years, but there's got to be some changes on the horizon. You cannot continue to roll out the same old thing. It's a definition of insanity if you expect something different to happen.
CBC, the news you can trust, delivered when you want, where you want, with local CBC Radio 1 Live. To connect us closer to home on the CBC News app. Download for free.
I use kayak to compare hundreds of times. I like to do things myself. I can't trust anything else to do the job right.
So it looks like for me, middle of May, we got a Waterford Sharks celebration up here. They did end up winning the title for the team that I call for in the Michigan Independence Hockey League. So congratulations to them. It was a lot of fun to be on the call. As I said, I was on the road trip in Muskegon to be able to see that as well. In the best of 5, they won all 3 games. They're going to have a celebration, so looks like I'll be joining them in a few weeks. I'll have to RP there and have some fun. Hang out with the boys one more time before the golf outing that they have in August, because again, the regular season starts in October, just like it does in the NHL. We have a chance to do it again as they'll get a chance to look to defend their title. So it's still 6 teams in the league, kind of more like the house league or whatever that we talked about, but still very good talent there, and it was fun to see them win. Link in there, but I don't want to make myself sound much better than I actually am. So I just really enjoyed it.
Back in Boston, 1-1 after one, and this is the first elimination.
It's a beautiful look at this skyline in Boston as there's so much different being able to see Brandon Shanahan perched atop and then not on the ice with the Red Wings. At the end of the day, Treliving says a lot of the answers are going to come from the guys in the room. Hey, that's master deflectionism, isn't it, for Treliving? I wonder what Cooper Hopkins thinks of that. I wish he was in here with me because we could have a good conversation about that because I was the former GM of the Calgary Flames. That's master deflection. If you were playing like what Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, those games like that, what's your level? 10, 100? That'd be maxed out right there. Absolutely maxed out. Let's get into the second period. The Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a 1-1 tie. Jake McCabe and Trent Frederick. The goal are 12-2. The stats are heavily one-sided, but the score line says what it does. It'll be left to right for the Leafs. Now, Hill centered out in front. Nylander gets knocked down. Back to Matthew Nye's right circle. Pinball chance. There is Trip right in front for Nylander. He's going to go take a seat. We got a piece of Charlie McAvoy, and the Bees are going to get their first power play. Again, their numbers are a million times better than Toronto. Again, power play numbers are on the 30% mark, comparison to about 5% for the Leafs, and that's an easy call right in front of the Zebras. Maybe almost a slow foot. Little Brad Marchand. I don't think Nylander meant to do it, but 28. He goes to the sin bin for tripping. And Jim Montgomery's squad has a chance, honestly, to maybe triple their shots on goal. They only have 2. A defensive zone draw win for the Leafs. It's Pasta. He'll get this near the left side circle, back in behind the cage for DeBrusk. DeBrusk off the spin and turn as this one is sent all the way down to Swayman. Swayman, the busier of the goaltender, stopped 12 of 13. Joseph Wall only 1 of 2. And the one chance that he had to stop, he could have never made the save. It was a bad turnover. Jake DeBrusk find the entry near the right circle. He absorbs a big hit. Stays on his feet. Off the spin and turn, it's the Leafs. And they'll calmly get this pass near the left side red line and fire it in. Chip and chase. And Pontus Holmberg is going to win it. Holmberg now will kill more time. And Bruins being a little nonchalant power play as Pontus Holmberg, this goes up in a netting, was able to kill some time. And it just looked like Boston was just trying to keep the puck in front of them and not trying to throw the body. That's a little weird. 18:36 left to go in the second. So John out here with you on the solo call. We're at TD Garden in Boston right now. Pull back up this ESPN box score. Jake McCabe at 5:33 in the first from Mitch Marner and Max Domi. Trent Frederick at 13:54 in the opening frame from Pat Maroon. That's your score reset. Left side, David Kemp. And now Pavel Zacha. Zone Boston, very meticulous on this breakout. They are really not pressing at all. Mason Lohrei for Morgan Geekie. Are they going to push because they're getting restless? Morgan Geekie find the entry in. Almost looks like they're just by David Kemp. As it's Zacha, and I'm only saying that because they're on power play, not because the Leafs haven't played well. They have, but in this power play, it's not like them. 20 seconds left to go in the man advantage, if you can even call it that. As it's Pavel Zacha. Find the entry now for JVR. Zacha slowly around the kick plate now for Denton Heinen. Heinen Near the left side red line, it's Wall right in front of the net, but the puck goes Croc off the spin and turn. No shots on the power play. That was brutal. Outstretched. Nylander wide open. He tried to go for the top right shoulder of Swayman. And that would have been a disaster for the Bees. Near to the right side. Here's a cross. And a stick in the lane stops the play. 16 left to go in the second. And Willie Nylander almost zoomed right out of the box to get a break right in on Swayman. He was trying to lift near the right shoulder. So outstretch. Here is a pass. Kelly Arncroft absorbs a hit. This will be about 130 feet. It broke Nylander out of the box. He tried to lift that top left corner of the net. That was a good idea. Swayman was down. He hit the top of the bar. Man, oh man. Nylander came that close. And again, he's one of those guys, he said to Mitch Marner, quit effing crying. It's not Junior. As you back down, yes, that's an actual quote. Morgan Rielly. Now for Joseph Wall, as they'll look to start it again. And near the left side blue line. Here's an opportunity now for the Leafs as they get a power play. They're acting about 5% on their activation on the power play. They go offside. 16:53 in the second. So I'm looking in between the stream. Again, I appreciate you guys jumping in. Chef's been able to leave comments as always. He is a bitter Red Wings fan like me, again, as we're watching playoffs, but we know the improvement's going to continue. I'm just waiting for playoff hockey. I've been hungry for several years. This is through the neutral zone. It's Marchand. He'll win this one against John Tavares, and this one will be dumped in. It'll be Toronto, about $1:30 left to go in their power play, their second attempt. Boston has had one. Willie Nylander now. Find the entry, left circle, give and go. Here's a drop for Rielly. Near the left circle. Toronto dancing with this puck, just trying to get situated here. Still near the left boards. It's Marner. Rielly. Thinking about the screen. Rielly out in the high slot, cross Tavares, bounced off his skate blades. Now Nylander. Back for Domi. Marner. Rielly. Now Marner. Right circle. He shoots it. It's loose. Bounce in front of the bodies. Marchand trying to get it out. He can't. Now for Mitch. John Tavares wide open. He snipes it just wide of the left post. Domi. Rielly. Oh, what a stopper. Swayman full sprawl. He's got it. 16 shots to 3. Jeremy Swayman with the save of the game right now as he robbed Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly, Nylander. This was near the left side pads as they're showing this off the replay sequence on Sportsnet. Great pass across. Morgan Rielly gets taken to the woodshed by Jeremy Swayman, who sprawls out, makes a full save there with the right pad. Defensive zone draw for the Bees. They'll send it down. Again, it's a 3-1 series lead for Boston. They can end Toronto's hopes one more time. They've been known to do that throughout the history of their playoffs. Near the left circle, Robertson able to get it in. Pass back across to D. Send it near the left side pinball right for Boston. It's a race for the puck, but Danton hiding on a gas. And near the left entry near the right dot. Liljegren, absorb a hit. Bertuzzi falls down. Here's an opportunity now. Pavel Zacha. Reinforcements, 3-on-1. Pat Maroon to Zacha. Touch pass. And good outstretched stick, but it's Grzelcyk now. Pinball stopped by Wall as he got taken down. Near the left side, the Bees. I feel like they're sleepwalking through this game a little bit. I know the Leafs are playing well. I just can't believe the shot output is so low. It's only 4 shots for Boston, and yet it's a 1-1 game. 14:45 in the second as this one's dumped in. Pasta off the back pass. This was loose out in front for Frederick the Pasta. Shot high, and this goes near the left side wall. Now Toronto. They will gain that line. Stick chop kept it in for a moment. It bounced off Jake DeBrusk and fired down deep. 14:20 left to go in the second. Joseph Woll. As Toronto try to take this left to right. Touch pass. Bounced in the air. Frederick gets punished. This one sent in. Auston will have it. Left side red line. Spin and turn. Trying to find JVR. Kept in defensively. McAvoy. Good stutter step. Off the backhand. Pass to the right. Wide open for a 1T. They go for a pass instead. I don't know why. But Boston trying to be too cute. They don't get the shot on Wall. David Camp in pursuit. As this is dumped in by JVR. Boston now. Crowd's urging them to get some more offensive output. I don't blame them. Near the right side red line. This is Brazo. As he'll lose the puck. And now the Leafs slowly left to right again. The road whites with the blue pants and white striping. The Leafs in the home black with the yellow and white striping. It's Hampus Lindholm. He was the pickup from the Ducks last. Lindholm drop Marchand. This one too far, trying to find Danton Heinen. Now Boest as Rielly will dump it in. Swayman stops it high off the end glass past Tavares' head. It's now Domi. Spin and turn. He's dispossessed. Liljegren one-timer. Hampus Lindholm will chip it into the neutral zone. Good stick. It is a cross pass wide open and a backhand save. Good. As he took it away, I believe, from Brandon Carlo off the rush. Nylander rips it in, and Swayman's got a hold. Hopefully I'll get a replay. But Joseph Woll, off a 2-on-1, he had to stop a potential break, and he did so. Knuckle puck stopped with the left skate. Chance in tight, bounces off of Morgan Geekie, and then this cross pass, Jesper Boquist gets denied by Woll as he puts it up. It is deep into the second period. We're almost halfway through. Still tied at 1.
What does $140 get you nowadays? Not a whole lot. Right now, for as low as $135 a month, you can get that will lower your utility bills, a full decade worth of complimentary peace of mind warranty, and you can even get thousands back in Handy Bros cashback rebates too. You heard that right. With the cost of a bag of groceries, a cell phone bill, or even a tank of gas, you could have it all. Find out more at Handy Bros. Home comfort done different. Hey, boy, what on the construction? On the way.
So goaltending. That has been the story of the second period right now. Woll stops a chance off his skate. Boquist gets wrapped in a potential break. Morgan Rielly gets owned by Swayman off a right-to-left cross pass. Makes the save and full sprawl falling down. That's the reset of the second. It's still Trent Frederick and Jake McCabe with the goals, one apiece on each side. Once this light fades a little bit more, I will go ahead and turn the light on, but it looks like we're okay right now on this side of the camera. And thank goodness for getting closer to summer here outside. 12:39 left in the second. A defensive zone draw for Boston. Again, it's been much better for them in the second period. They were getting annihilated in the face-off circle by the Leafs here early. Max Domi's 9 for 9 himself. As this is near the left. Picked up by Boston now. Good outstretched stick. Dome still got Bertuzzi with him. Goes for the drop instead for Marner. Swing it down. Where's the puck? It's in between Bertuzzi. Gets a chance to pick it up. It's Marner. Marner through the traffic. This gets blocked. He'll hand grenade into an open area. This one gloved down. Zacha. Turnover. Leafs. Swayman hits it with the left pad. As Pasta now trying to get rid of it. It's a one-on-one. A long shot, and Wall gloves it down. Jim Montgomery squat will take a change. 11:40 left to go in this second. As it's picked by Toronto. Shots on goal are 19-6. Jeremy Swayman has been a brick wall, and Joseph Wall showed some of his capabilities here. Halfway through it, just gained the blue line off a clear that was flubbed. It's Jake McCain, the opening goal scorer. Hard in off the end wall. And now Lindholm will make the outstretch. Too far, and the Bees can't change. Toronto can do what they want here. This puck's been iced. John on here with you on the call. I got the solo Sportsnet feed, so CBC for me today on the solo calls, where I like to lean on Sportsnet if possible. Marner, that was a devastating shot block there for Pasta as it hit him in the back leg. And then just a mad scramble. Bertuzzi, this puck was underneath. And the Leafs were desperate to try to find it and get a goal, as it was bouncing everywhere, but Swayman stood tall. Another defensive zone draw for Boston. And the Leafs, Bertuzzi trying to punt a puck, as it's Tavares now. Nylander near the right side embankment. Here comes the 1T. This one gets blocked. That was from Edmondson at 87. Outstretched there for Pasta. Turned away. Nylander just holds the blue line. Beautiful skate for Willie. Got it, toe drag. Here's a chance for Edmondson, and he blew it wide open. My goodness. Marchand, they'll get it. On DeBrusque, fans on the wrister. He overskated it. 10:30 left to go in the second. He sends it back down. He'll take his change. This is near the left side red line as this is sent in for Parker Wotherspoon. Slowly for Wotherspoon around the left side inboards. Boston with JVR, again, former Leaf, who loves the score 5-hole. We've seen that in this series. 10:05 left to go in the second. John here with you at TD Garden in Boston. It's a 1-1 tie. It's been that way for quite a while. Left side Dewar can't find it. He lost it to Mason Lohrei. He's just flipped in. Halfway through regulation now. Bees off the rush, in between the legs. Trying to make a play was Danton Heinen, but he gets turned away. Pinned against the wall is Reeves, and tied up. Pontus Holmberg and shoving, but it looks like it's going to be nothing doing as we're past the halfway point. Let's take a break, and we'll see what happens next.
All kinds of blocks. 82 coming in. There's another one that Keefe the brush. Oh, Nylander. It's one of the ships that look more Nylander like.
Two jerseys.
Yeah. One for the team I'm invested in. One for insurance.
So Bertuzzi, the puck was in a mad scramble. He falls down as Leafs don't score. They get close. Nylander with a great shift. He makes a couple moves near the right side red line. Pass in between the circles, and Edmondson missed the net. Toronto starting to get close again, but considering how this has been right now, if this continues and Boston scores, it makes me wonder what's going to happen in this series. If Boston scores this next goal, will the Leafs be done? That's my thought. Because they played well in this game. Maybe the best they've played in the series, but almost is not close enough.
Winning that fourth game is for the team that had the opportunity I agree with Elliot. I thought Boston looked a little bit nervous at times, but the Leafs have been a little bit more free-flowing. I think their defense has done a better job in this game than any other of joining the rush and being a factor. More of Morgan Rielly early on. You just saw Joel Edmondson with a great chance in the slot area.
Defensive zone draw off the tie-up. Now it's certainly been a while as it was finally picked up for Matt Grizzly. Shots on goal are 18-7. It's about as low event as you can get for the Bees, but it's still 1-1. This is near the left side. Gain the entry now. McAvoy. He'll wrist it to Joseph Woll. Didn't know he saved it. He thought it was the right pad, but it was the left. Opportunity now left to right in Toronto. We'll go ahead and chip it in. At least not off the chip in. They're trying to go ahead and hunt pucks, which that hadn't happened. Liljegren sent it in deep. A little bit too far for Nicholas Robertson. Now to the right side, Mitch Marner. There's this one sent in deep for Robo. Again, the other Robo, the younger brother of the Dallas Stars, but Nick Robertson's still very good. This will be sent down for Liljegren off the outstretch. Here is Marner. Marner now near the right side. Gets dispossessed by Marchand. A race there against Liljegren. Be very careful because Marchand can pry it loose. Here near the left side. Fans wanted to call. They won't get one. Lindholm way high. And near the right side boards. This will be sent back slowly around. Lindholm one more time around the kick plate as this goes behind the circles. Joseph Woll stand up near the left post. Charlie Coyle will get a vulcanized rubber. Sent toward the net. This one gets blocked. Domi will get this ahead. And now Marner able to get it for Bertuzzi. Will fire it in. Picked up now for Boston. Ref's got a duck to get out of the way of the biscuit here. As this is sent back around. Domi, who's had an excellent game. This is near the right circle. It's Jake McCabe. He lost an edge. We'll go back. 7:50 left to go in this middle frame. Still 1-1 tie. Shots on goal are 18-8. Bounced away. Good defense there. Tavares, Domi. They're hounding Hampus Lindholm. Boston pushes it the other way. Here's an opportunity. Heinen. Wrister. High wall, and it's rebounded into the corner. Now under the left side. Willie Nylander tries to go ahead and push. This one sent back down to Jake McCabe. Is waved off. 7:20 left to go in this middle frame. 1-1 game. 3. They could eliminate the Leafs today. All 4 games are 3-1 series. All potential elimination games. Joseph Woll. Sweet pass in behind his net. He's denies. We'll go ahead and try to get him with Dewar and Parker Wotherspoon. Here's an outstretch right at the TD Garden logo, but right to the Leafs. Ilya Lyubushkin now. As this goes wide and across the red line, and it's iced against Toronto. Showing Charlie McAvoy's wrister hit Joseph Woll right in the grill. And he had to check on his mask to see if he needed any repairs to the straps or any dents inside of it. Probably jarred the chiclets a little bit. Again, shots on goal are 18-9. Joseph Woll getting his first full start in the series. Again, I mentioned a little bit in the open. Joseph Woll, over the last couple of years, at times in fits and starts when he's been healthy, and when some goaltenders have struggled, he's had to be the savior of sorts. He hasn't been bad in the postseason, Joseph Woll, but again, it's been a culmination of things for the Leafs. Ryan Reeves, grandfathered in without a visor alongside Jimmy Benn, and I think maybe one other, Ryan O'Reilly, who's still playing hockey. Again, thank you to Cooper Hopkins for that, as he usually mentions. The left side. This is picked up. Brodie. Lindholm. That's a good glove save for Joseph Woll. He dropped his stick, but he snagged it out of the air with the right upper. 6:36 in the middle frame. Boston finally double-digit shots on goal, and there's only 6 second. So tied up a little bit, Pastrnak, and I think Pasta maybe off the push made Woll drop his stick, but he snagged it one-handed with the right glove. It's pretty good work there for Woll. Stopped 9 of 10, but again, chance for him, to be honest with you. 17 of 18 for Swayman on the other side. So defensive zone draw. The Bruins have been much better in this second period in the face-off circle. The Leafs absolutely dominated that open, and they right in the trap. We'll get another draw. The Paris Olympics, July 26th to August 11th. That should be fun to go ahead and check out. I think I might have missed that date, though. It's going to be a little bit longer than that, maybe not. 6:29 left to go in this middle frame. A bunch of happy dancing TD Garden fans, Auston, and why not? Their team is up 3-1 in the series lead. I was in the seas. I do want to go to MSG to check out a game. No doubt about that. See the Rangers or the Knicks. That's definitely on the bucket list. Mason Lohrei will send this back around, as this will be sent in deep near the left side. Stopped by the stick up, back and around the kick plate. And now Zacha. We'll go ahead one more time. Zacha now a touch for Frederick. He scored the lone goal for Boston around the end boards. It's been an academic type of second period. A little bit low event, but that's okay, with the exception of a handful of saves from Swayman and Wall, which were spectacular. Off the outside of the mesh. This is DeBrusque now trying to find it. Spin and turn Liljegren. Will keep it clean from a Marner off his back skate, starting his own end as Toronto look to break out left to right. Liljegren, Simon Benoit. Slam this around the end boards, right side red line. It's Lindholm as Marchand pries the puck loose. Sent down deep across the left side red. Picked up now off the stick chop. Sent in deep. This will be with the Bees, but Toronto able to get a stick chop out of there. Marchand. Here's Jake DeBrusque. Backhand. Centered out in front dangerously, trying to find the captaincy in Marchand. Here's the right side screen. Out for Wall in front, Marchand. Will slowly put this around the inboards. Parker Wotherspoon. Get it in deep. Marchand. This bounces off one of the Leafs. It's still busy as this one's flipped. Now Parker will have it now. He's got Grizzly to his left. Off sides. And now Wotherspoon has got some words to say to one of the Maple Leafs. But this will be blown dead quickly with 4:43 left to go in the second. We'll take another break here. It's still 1-1 as we're under 5 in the second period. Just under 5 minutes of the second. Still a 1-1 game. Again, we got another vote. I said, how do you fix the Maple Leafs? Asking an honest question, so humor me. I got fire Sheldon Keefe, head coach, and trade Mitch Marner, move core 4, or all of it, blow it up. One of you says blow it up. One of you says fire Sheldon Keefe. Now, if you pick one or the other, and you say fire Sheldon Keefe, does that mean you don't want other moves to be made? Question mark. I'm just throwing it out there.
They say the game starts when the puck is dropped. NHL Free Play, presented by Bet99.ca, is the game before the game. It's a free-to-play daily NHL pick'em game. So how's it work? Every game day before the puck is dropped, answer up to 10 questions and earn points for a chance to win $100,000. It's that easy. Play today on the NHL app or at NHL.com/freeplay. Top Performer is brought to you by the GMC Sierra. There are trucks, and then there is the truck. Sheldon Keefe has said a few times he believes when they moved Montgomery to the middle for a time earlier this year, his season around, he got the switch, got him more puck touches. With Panel talked about him connecting with Marner earlier this year when Auston Matthews missed the game. Tonight, he's won 10 of 11 faceoffs, 2 shots on goal, and an assist on the lone Toronto goal. What he's only at 1
So Domi's only taken one draw in the second period. He's still 10 of 11 on draws. For whatever reason, you go 9 and 9 and then you go away from it. That just doesn't make sense to me. 4:43 left to go in the second neutral zone draw. This one won by the Bees. But it'll be Jake McCabe outstretch. Again, the Leafs playing without Auston Matthews in Game 5. Don't know if this series get extended, how much it'll change for number 34. But right now it's a 1-1 tie. Honestly, through fits and starts, Boston's had a better second period, but the 44-19 shot attempt, that's not something we've been able to say throughout this series right now, with the exception of Game 2, once they got a win. And maybe even that is suspect. This might be the best game they've played right now in the series. Desperation can do that. This is near the left side red line now, and the Bees will get the interception here. John, on here with you on the solo call. I got the CBC Sportsnet feed. It's a 3-1 series for all 4 games in action today, so potential 4 eliminations. As this is John Tavares. We'll send it in, but this goes on the players' bench, and we'll get a stoppage. Again, for a little bit of a series reset for you, Boston 4-0 in the regular season. So far, 7-1 all told. They have rolled with 5-1, 4-2, and 3-1 victories. They were up 4-0 after 2 periods. Toronto made it 1-1 with Tavares and Matthews in the second and third in Game 2. Mark Stubbs 31-34 in the loss. Then after that, all Boston 2, Swayman 20 of 30 in Game 2. Marchand back-to-back goals in Game 4. 3-1, Boston up 3-0 after 2 periods. Swayman 24-25. Samsonov was pulled. I put, is his time in Toronto done? If the series is today, we'll have open discussion about 5-10 minutes extended postgame. This will be sent in for Boston. Marchand now trying to get it, and it's Boquist looking to locate as well, as this is just pinned. Side red line. 3:30 left to go in this second. Still a 1-1 game. No goals in this second frame. Red TD Garden in Boston, as this puck has continued to be stuck against the boards. The Leafs finally emerge with it. It is David Kampf. Doer now off the pin. Kampf will get this one deep. Mitch Marner, as they've mixed it a little bit in these lines, it's Ilya Lyubushkin. Back to D. Morgan Rielly. Marner now thinks about a rest. This one goes wide to Swayman. He was trying to stop it with the right glove, but it went across the blue paint. We'll start it again left to right. Touch pass. Charlie Coyle. Coyle now. He full speed across the red line. Jake DeBrusk. Pick it up off the backhand for Charlie. Full center toward the net. DeBrusk can't get a stick on it. They'll take it back D to D. It's Hampus Lindholm into the traffic. This one bounced off a glove hand, but it goes right to the Leafs. It's Oliver Bertuzzi, slow up, make the pass. Right out in front for Edmondson, who was cutting in across mid-ice. Opportunity for Jake DeBrusk, and fire it in. Here's a chip and chase for Boquist. As some of Jim Montgomery's forwards got to be gassed, he'll take a change. Brad Marchand finishes his check. He gets his puck loose. Edmondson will send it in. Near the left side line now, Pontus Holmberg off the spin and turn. Holmberg now Bertuzzi, and this is right near the left post. He'll hold on to it. 1:52 left to go in the second. Puck bounced off the skate of Joseph Wall, and if it got Jake DeBrusk, if he could have settled it down, he would have an open goal to shoot in net. No chance for Wall near that left post if he could have picked it up. Still 1-1. About 52 left to go in the second. No goals in this second. Holmberg try to take this draw. And we'll just do it again. Nobody's kicked out. Kelly Yarncrook waiting for it near the wing. This is with the Bees, and they'll chip it. Wait for Jake McCabe. Settle it down. Good pass now off the touch. Leafs try to gain the entry near the left side. McAvoy throws his body into the realm. Morgan Geekie trying to locate. Geekie now pick it up off the right side red line. Here's an opportunity for Matt Grizzly. We'll turn and clear it in. We'll take his change for Jim Montgomery's squad. Gigi gets taken for a ride as Jake McCabe will send this one ahead for John Tavares. He can be a game breaker. John Tavares taken down right in front of the referee. No call. As it's Pavel Zacha. Zacha off the drop. Pasta. That was a blister of a wrist shot. This is now sent back around for number 88. Pasta got it. Spin, turn, stop by wall. No rebound. A minute left to go in the second. Traffic out in front there for Boston, as they've done throughout this game. Try to obscure the vision of the young netminder and Joseph Wall. 1 minute left to go. 60 seconds left in this middle frame. We're still tied. Again, the Leafs trying to avoid elimination. They had won game 2. That's the only game so far in the series. Boston has dominated throughout the regular season and postseason right now. In this version of the Leafs, they're 7-1 against them. It's another defensive zone draw. Looks like Lindholm, Pasta, McAvoy, Marchand. That top line's out there right now. Tavares against Coyle. And on the draw. And John Tavares will win it back, the former New York Islander. This is off the back pass, and Lindholm got to get in on his horse. He gets wiped out. It is Nylander staying on his feet. This one gets dumped down deep. Lindholm try to get to the puck first, but really Nylander, excellent job. This is centered out, a high chance, bounce off top of the page, and Tavares threw a dangerous centering pass and across the blue paint. But a Leaf wasn't there. He tried to find Morgan Rielly near the left side. Still with the Leafs. Nice, wraps it. Swayman down. They're walking away at it, and the referee, Zebra, finally blows it dead. 22.1 left to go in the second. McAvoy getting worked over. Charlie Coyle with his helmet off. A lot of effort there for Matthew Nyes to go ahead and pick up this puck. And Alvinson still throwing blows against Charlie Coyle. And now Pastrnak and Rielly getting into it. Is this original 6 matchup starting to get spicy? Now a push away. And near the left side dot and the right side dot as the camera's cutting in. I'll try to give you any updates if there are any punches being thrown. Coyle and Edmondson in a bear hug. That's all we got right now. And Matthew Nyes has got a smile on his face. So does Edmondson as he's talking to Pasta. Willie Nylander, he's got a serious face on right now. He's just trying to score goals. I like that. I think Nylander is the one guy that's locked in. If I had to pick, Wes McCauley is telling Charlie McAvoy to F off. I can read that in the lips as far as all of that. And Sheldon Keefe, he always looks like a cool customer, but I don't think he says the right things at times. Willie Nylander, spin, turn, shot. This one bounced up the top of the net. And then John Tavares tried to hit Matthew Nyes with a no-look back pass. Nyes then off the wraparound. Full snow angel against the right side red line to make sure that nothing went in across the goal crease. And then the refs blew it dead as they lost the sight line. This got in through the pad, but I can't ever tell if it crossed the goal line. The puck was free, and then it's back out loose again for the Leafs. So are we getting a challenge for the Leafs? Or are we just getting penalties? I know we're going to get penalties nonetheless. Swayman looking behind him, but the puck came out loose. I see 2 Bs in the box. I see Marchand. There's Jim Montgomery trying to get a clarification. This one a little bit more calm for Jim. But he's like, come on now. And the Boston Bruins fans with a couple of beers in their hand, they're looking at the score clock, trying to see if anything else. I'm looking at Swayman with the goalie cam falling underneath it, but I don't see a puck underneath him as it goes out loose. So no goals. Could have been argued if they would have called the goal, would have been pushed into the net because, I mean, that's the entire set of lines in 5-on-5 on both pushing Swayman into the crease. And yet Toronto, it's a man advantage. Charlie Coyle, the roughing penalty at 1938 as Marchand and Coyle. Keefe is getting really upset now, but I'm not sure why because Toronto's got a power play. So Charlie Coyle in the box. He's going to take a seat for a moment. in a full 2 minutes for Toronto if they don't score. They would have roughly about a minute 48 carryover power play time going into the third. This is a power play that's below 5% now through this series. 0 for 2 for 4 shots. This is a time where, to me, leading into this third if they don't score now. Marner, traffic, loose out in front. Swayman says no. This is near the left side now for John Tavares off the spin and turn. It's Wotherspoon. This is sent down deep. That's going to end the second. Toronto's got carryover power play time. Still 1-1.
Shots 1-12 in favor of the Leafs through 40 minutes. We're here in Game 5 tonight. Ryan Company with the second iteration.
Today, when it comes to all sports, watching the ticker just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge. So you want to see what your team. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
The Jeep No Limits event is here. Which means more trails to blaze, challenges to meet, more sights to discover. Get into a Jeep Grand only open-air pickup truck in its class. Or Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most.
Let's give you your shots on goal reset, and then I will go ahead and turn the light on in here because it is getting dark now.
10% off MSRP.
Shots on goal 23-12. Hits 37-29 for Boston. Face-offs 25-13 Toronto. Block shots 15-5 Austin. I'll give you your period reset in a moment.
She's an Olympic gold medalist. But what we don't see is a person who refuses to let anxiety keep her from the starting line. When we see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the man's unstoppable. What we don't see is a skinny kid who got cut from his high school team.
So second period, no goals to tell you about, but Woll stops a chance off his skate. Bokas gets robbed off a potential. Rielly also gets owned by Swayman off a right to left cross pass. He made the save in a full sprawl while falling down. Puck in a scramble and stuck number 2Z, who was down. Leafs get close, don't score. Nylander had a great shift passing between the circles. Edmondson misses. Mad scramble at the end of the second period. Swayman pushed race. Still makes the save. Toronto gets a power play to end the frame. That's your second period reset. We're still at Trent Frederick and Jake McCabe. 1 scoreless in the second period. Still 1-1 is your game heading into the third.
Meanwhile, at Verbo, what other vacation rentals have no.
So for those that are in here, let's just say it honestly, who do you pick in this third period? Do you think it's going to be a goal? Do you think we're going to get to OT? I now have 4 votes in the question. Thank you guys for voting. I said, how do you fix the Maple Leafs? Asking an honest question, so humor me. Fire Sheldon Keefe, head coach. Fire Brendan Shanahan, the GM. Trade Mitch Marner, one of the core 4, or all of the above. Blow it up. And 75%, 3 out of 4 say blow it up. Let's take a live look in at the Canes and the Isles as we're in the second intermission. Again, full game story to follow at Hopeless Sports Guy per usual. 2 with 13:20 left to go in the second. We're slipping away from our featured game as it's in the intermission. I'll be right back. So let's give you a scoring reset across the league and in the association as well. So we're taking a look at the Hurricanes and the Islanders. Ned just went off its moorings and fluffed the pegs as they took a break. Again, all series 3-1 on the ice today, so all 4 games potential elimination. Carolina, strong 3 goals in the first. They lead 3-1. The Islanders come back to score in the second. It's now 3-2. Teuvo Teravainen, Andrei Svechnikov, and Evgeny Kuznetsov scores on a penalty shot in the playoffs. 3-1 Carolina after 1. Mike Rielly with a power play goal from Matthew Barzal and Brock Nelson, and then Brock Nelson from Paul Mary and Ryan Pollock. Freddie Anderson, 9 of 11. Semyon Varlamov up 23 as the Islanders try to stave off elimination. But another 45 minutes from now will be Colorado and Winnipeg. Again, that series 3-1 Colorado, and then Vancouver at Rogers Place 3-1 lead over Nashville. That'll be on TBS. That late game might also be on Sportsnet because they're carrying Toronto on the CBC side of the feed. So I think the late one will be on CBC. And Colorado, Winnipeg, the only place you can watch that unless you're local is on ESPN. So, third quarter score, as we switch to the association on the hardwood here, 70-69. The Sixers trying to avoid off elimination. Knicks have a 1-point lead. The Cavs have a 48-39 lead against the Magic. The home team has won every game in that series. Let's check in on the Knicks. Tyrese Maxey, 24 points for 76ers. Tobias Harris, 15, Embiid, 13. Embiid's got 13, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 blocks. Jalen Brunson with 22 and 5. Josh Hart, Anunoby with 10. And a scoring receptor for the Cavs. They're trying to go up 3-2 in the series. It's 48-33 Cleveland. It's 17 for Darius Garland, 14 for Donovan Mitchell. On the other side for the Magic, no double-digit scores. Brancaro with 8, Franz Wagner with 7, and a minus 15 on the court. Balanced bench score. Wagner, Markel Fultz, Cole Anthony, and Joel Ingles have combined for 18 points off the bench. And again, about 45 minutes from now, Pacers Bucks, that won a 3-1 series lead for Rick Carlisle's squad, trying to knock out Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks. And I really don't see how Doc Rivers keeps his job after this, and why they would even move on from Mike Budenholzer. Question mark. We'll flip back into the Leafs and the Bruins in a moment. Carolina was just working with this puck in the defensive end and cleared it down. And big save for Freddie Anderson, trying to keep this a 1-goal lead for Carolina as the Islanders finally enter Bo Horvat and go off sides. 10:27 in the second, 20 seconds left to go in the Islanders' power play. Kyle Palmieri, Sheldon toward the net, a one-time for Bo Horvat gets turned away by Freddie. Maybe even a stick save for Freddie Anderson, as they'll get a neutral zone draw. Shots on goal are 24-12 in favor of Carolina. They got a 3-2 lead. They're leading the series 3. Carolina shorthanded the other way, and this one goes to the left side, trying to find Stoll. Carolina gets the steal again as D'Angelo will send this one deep. And we'll get halfway through the second. Just giving you a live look in real quick of the Island. Sebastian Aho, Carolina side, can't get there, and JD Pageau will send it back. Pageau gets this as they get across the King logo, backhand, try to skate with it, and JG pick it back up now. 9-foot. Go ahead and get this now off his forehand, off the drop near the right side wall. Islanders. Now Anders Lee near the bumper. Send it in toward the net. This one gets blocked. Picked up around the end boards now for the Islanders, and this will be flipped back down the ice. I'm going to flip back into our featured game, but again, we'll monitor it. Our game's 1-1 after 2 between Boston and Toronto. 3-1 series lead for all these, as we said, but the Carolina Hurricanes, they got a 3-2 advantage with 8:55 in the second.
Traces of the virus have even been found in their milk supply. The scientists are warning that Canada isn't doing enough to monitor the virus here. Those stories and more tonight on The National, on CBC News Network, on CBC Gen, on YouTube, and following hockey on CBC. Now, back to Hockey Night in Canada.
Got about a minute. Not sure we'll get the entire penalty shot yet.
Well, Brendan hated the Birdman Sully when he played against Kuznetsov. He definitely hated this shootout attempt. He's known for this. And Marlon had just his motivation.
So that made it 3-1. Brock Nelson is having a Brock Besser-like playoffs. He's cut to 3-2 in that one. Tomorrow night, we're on the air 7:30 Eastern from Dallas. How about that series? All deadlocked, and it's a Hockey Central presentation on West and Sportsnet 1 ahead of the Kings
and the Oilers from Rogers Place in Edmonton. To your coverage in Boston.
This game is brought to you by Rogers. Catch every goal on Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network.
Milestones aren't for looking back. Forward. Introducing Mazda's largest two-row SUV with hybrid power and spacious versatility. Made for more new journeys. The first ever Mazda CX-70. Available as a mild hybrid inline-six turbo or as a plug-in hybrid.
Let's go! Sorry. It's all good. Investment plans got me fired up.
Our advisors have a game plan for you.
Check it out. Check it out. Canadian Ultra Excel. Awesome. On in. Discover the marine difference. Discover Vision OTB43. Speed, luxury, and open space.
Going to be the last segment of intermission here in the second before we go to the third. 1-1 line between the Bees and the Leafs. 3-1 series on the line for every game that's played today, so 4 potential elimination games. Jake McCabe, your goal scorer for the Leafs. And then I'll look back in the notes here. Trent Frederick for the Bees. That's what it was like after 1 second.
Transforming the country into one massive ultimate challenge. Watch free on CBC.
Faced with losing Joe Zacha, the Avalanche attempt to match a $15 million offer from the New York Rangers and find a life expected place. Watch Saving Sakic now on Prime.
To pay relief. Choose time.
See if I can open this one for a moment before this third period starts. Warm in here, we try to dim the lights off, but you know, it's too dark.
Crushed it.
Get heartbreak of Drake Records. Scoring great, you need to sacrifice.
Do your fans have higher blood pressure? How's your heart rate? Why do you love rooting for underdogs? When you get curious, you can see.
The top stories of the day from communities across Canada and around the world on The National tonight following the game. Watch free on CBC Gem. Stats After 40 brought to you by Rogers, Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. Greg has mentioned that so far tonight. The numbers back that up almost 6 minutes more through the first 2 periods. Remember that after 2 periods in Game 4, the different scoring chances the Leafs had next to not the case here tonight. Sheldon Keefe has said we just need some little things to start to go in our favor that could very well make the difference between a game with what's left of this one here tonight, Chris.
They can use a power play. Kyle and the Leafs, without one of their last 10 opportunities, start the third.
Going to get set to start the third period again, as we said, on a power play, an abbreviated one at that, for about 1:35. And now it's Toronto and Boston, a 1-1 game, no goals in the second. Toronto on the power play. It's near the right side for Willie Nylander. Near the left, try to center it out in front near the left post. It's Morgan Rielly, high slot. Picked up now for Mitch Marner. Marner patient near the left circle. Try to leave this back around now. Picked up for Domi. Give and go. Here is Marner. Now sent back for Domi. Try to bank it off the outside of the cage is Swayman. Power play down to 1:05. Toronto, one-timer. Rielly, good save for Jeremy Swayman as he throws this one back down the ice. Opportunity now will be slowed down for Joseph. The back pass. This will be picked back up now for Domi. We'll go ahead and race ahead. Now we'll spin back. It'll be John Tavares finding the entry. 35 seconds left to go in the power play. As this one's sent down deep, Boston for Parker Waterspoon and picked up now for Willie Nylander. 25 seconds left to go in the power play. Joining with him a solo call. CBC Sportsnet feed. In the left side red line, it's Tyler Bertuzzi. Pick it up near the left side wall, but this is an easy clear. Bertuzzi will get it back high slot off the bounce. This goes high off the end glass. Waterspoon with a stick chop. This is in between his legs. McAvoy is going to have to help. And now they will kill this power play. Again, 2 shots on it. That seems better for the Leafs than it usually is. Coyle, shot blocked. Centered pass to the middle of the circles. And this will be picked up now for Nick Robertson. Robertson, he gets decked as this will drop to Benoit near the left side red line. Settle back down Rielly. Is outstretched right at the middle. Picked off by the Bees. Charlie Coyle. Spin and turn. As this will be sent in for David Kemp. Jeremy Swayman near the left side of the glass as this one gets flipped. Toronto just able to keep this in there. The left side embankment. It's David Kemp. Put it around the circles. Back in behind the cage now is Ryan Reeves. Benoit. Back to Reeves. Set it down deep now for Kemp. As he'll spin and turn. Near the Bees now left to right. That's what they want to do. With the black, yellow, and white jerseys at home at TD Garden in Boston. The Maple Leafs in the road whites with the blue and striping. As it's Kemp. Kemp now gets double teamed off ahead as Boquist pries him loose of the puck. Shots on goal are 23-12 for Toronto. They've heavily outplayed Boston in some areas, but this score's still tied. If it wasn't for that clear out in front for Trent Frederick, this might still be a 1-0 game. This is near the left side, and Jeremy Swayman's been out. Now, Brazo trying to get a piece of this. Near the left side red line for Pat Maroon. Slowly around the end boards now. Frederick and Parker Waterspoon will get this near the right side red line. Back for Boquist. Boquist can't hold that line. Jesper will get it back, though. Wait for Parker. It's a 3-1 series lead for the Bees. They can effectively eliminate the Maple. All 4 series today, all at 3-1. Mason Lohrei. And boards now. Here come the Leafs. They'll send it all the way down. The hybrid icing is 1 for Charlie McAvoy, so Toronto cannot change. 16:22 left to go in this third. Domi, as it was Carlo in the front of a net battle and behind the cage. Domi trying to get this in between a couple defense. Morgan Rielly with a 1-T was blocking out in front of the Boston bodies. And it pinballed off of Swayman and the left skate of Hampus Lindholm, but somehow he saw it. He's been a good goaltender all the way across the year, and the one thing that you got to know for Boston is he's going to get paid, Jeremy Swayman. He's going to get paid some big bucks, too, especially when that lineup of Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman intact. And again, for Linus Ullmark, he was property of the Buffalo Sabres. Man, oh man, that one's going to hurt. Is it sent in deep? Here's a good finish of a hit. Toronto trying to get this out. Pavel Zacha forces. And this is now near the right side of the cage. That one was awfully close there to the Bees. There's a stick shaft's broken in half for Zacha. He's got to go get a new twig. This one's sent in deep now. Danton Heinen trying to find it as Toronto will take the long flip. Charlie McAvoy will settle it down. And Boston can take the calmly gain the right side red line. Send it in deep. This for the puck. 15:30 left to go in the third. Again, the next goal is absolutely paramount for both of these teams right now, but especially for the Leafs if they want to extend this series. So near the left side, dispossessed his knives. Coyle. Out in front, it goes over the net. My goodness. Wall was down and out. He would have not been able to make that save if it hit the net. John Tavares, now near the left side, DeBrusque will be able to get it. Now for Coyle off the spin and turn. He was that close to giving the Bees the lead. Destroyed by Nyes off a big-time hit. This is still loose in the Toronto defensive end. Here's a wrister, stop by Wall, big rebound. Nick Roberts slamming off the end glass. He'll do so. This will go all the way down. Brad Marchand slowly, hybrid icing. So is Boston, but that was the slowest hybrid icing I've ever seen. As Danton Heinen up the first kick save from Wall. He couldn't locate that second. Putting some moves on, centering pass. That could have been an easily could have taken the lead right now for a couple of bounce backs just wide that left post for Marchand from Coyle and Zacha. 14:37 in the third. That tired line of Nylander, Edmondson, and Liljegren all over a minute. This one flipped back down again, and this should be iced again, so they still cannot change. At least they'll get a breath from the couple of icings in a row. William Nylander, I feel, has been one of the best Maple Leafs. Again, you pay him. When you're saying quit crying, this isn't junior, you got to go out there and back up the performance after dealing with missing some games with migraines. I think he's done so. Him, Domi, and Bertuzzi would be the names that I would circle. And right now for Boston, it would have to be Marchand, McAvoy, Coyle, Zacha, the usual suspects. Is near the left side for Morgan Geekie. Geekie near the right side wall. Spin and turn. He'll make the drop pass for Pasta. And boxed up a little bit, but you know he can break out at any time in this game. Pastrnak. Right circle. Turn shot. Stop by the left. This is kept in by Boston. They'll flip this in, matriculate it up. Try to get the clear there for Nylander. It's stolen by Boston. Morgan Geekie making one. This is still kept in. Here's a centering feed after a jump in the air and saved by Pastrnak, settled down. And that shot goes wide. Liljegren near the right side for Kemp. Kemp will go ahead and try to make an entry, but I think the puck got sticked out of play. Third. 4:15. Toronto still have the edge of that. And they're showing Joseph Wall. Maybe he's got some work to do on his skate blades. And now we're getting a look at David Pastrnak as well. And Joseph Wall needs some help to the bench, as he either needs some help on his skate blades or he injured himself. But I'm thinking it's just the skate blades. When they come back, we'll get the clarification. So I apologize for any barking dogs there. It's a little hot in here. I'm set for the summer. So we killed the lights in the first 2 marks. So we're going to keep everything else going here. And we'll continue to keep this play-by-play rolling. If we do get anyone else in here, I will close the window.
A Canadian team hasn't won in over 30 years. Maybe it's time we try something different. The playoffs at Boston Pizza. Let's go! Sorry. It's all good. Investment plans got me fired up.
Our advisors have a game plan for you.
Hockey fans, make your plans to witness the battle for the biggest trophy in junior hockey as the Saginaw Spirit hosts the Canadian Hockey League's Memorial Cup presented by Zacha. Coming to Saginaw, Michigan, May 24th to June 2nd, with fan events in Frankenmuth and throughout the entire Great Lakes Bay region, this action-packed hockey vacation is beautiful places to explore. Get your tickets and trip today at 2024memorialcup.com.
Want to talk about the Bruin goaltender who should play? Well, he's been able to win an elimination clinching.
So here's an interesting note for you. 0-2 is swimming in enough clinching games. 334 goals against, 482 for Olmark, 887 for Swim, and 825 for Olmark. I do understand that those guys got injured in the back end of it for Florida Panthers. Not making excuses, but very interesting numbers to look at on that side as far as clinchers if you want to give some positive news for the Leafs. Joseph Wall gets his skate blades repaired as we went to break, and now a neutral zone draw. It's Morgan Geekie. We'll send this one back for Wotherspoon. Again, this next goal would be a go-ahead one at that. So very big. in this third period right now as it's tied 1-1 with 13:20 left to go in this third. Near the right side, Wotherspoon puts his puck loose. Try to send it out in front for Parker, but too wide. And this will be sent back down for Mason Lohrei. Lohrei now off the spin and turn. Able to find the entry left to right. Mason Lohrei, great skate. This will get this in the zone for Joseph Woll. Almost gets brushed there by the Bruins defense, but this will be flipped in, and is Nick Robertson. He was having a jailbreak off that clear in. That was the right idea. But just a couple skate blades out front. 12:55 left to go in this third. John, I'm here with you on the call. It's CBC Sportsnet feed. Toronto and Boston, again, as we mentioned, all four series today tied 3-1. So 4 potential elimination games for today. I believe I'm going to have the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow. Piece, the road team has won every game. Face-offs 28-15. Toronto, again, it was way worse than that to be able to start this in the first. Brad Marchand having some communication with his team as he'll go ahead. Pontus Holmberg. Marchand wins it clean. It's McAvoy skating to the right side and behind the cage now. McAvoy getting around a twig. His left skate shot to the traffic. Wall makes the save. Rebound picked up by Marchand. Stays on his feet near the right side. There's Brad Marchand. Now he's all tied up with Pontus Holmberg. Now he wants a piece, and the ref takes down Brad Marchand with a tackle. As Marchand tells him he wants to go after Pontus here, I think they're going to take both the boys. And I think for once in my life, I might say that Marchand has a case. So let me look at this right now. Marchand, he gets tied up there with Holmberg on a hold and a little bit of punches, trying to get his stick loose as Pontus that. And then we get a little bit of a freeze here on my feed. As this is picked up now off the back pick, Holmberg makes him blow a tire, and then Marchand goes after Holmberg. Holmberg's got him in a headlock, and they just do not let go of each other. So Toronto offsetting 4-on-4. It's Holmberg and Marchand in the box. You have to imagine that this is an advantage here. Got the captain and the rat. So 12:31 left to go in this third. John Underwood on the call. It's an offsetting 4-on-4. This is gigantic for the Toronto Maple Leafs to try to stave off elimination. Again, history has shown you through the course of time that Toronto can get to a hard time trying to close it. Right now, this is game 5, and they got to win the next 2 to even get to that point. Pasta will take a draw. Doesn't do this very often. And we can see why, as this goes right back to the right side dot, although David Pastrnak still trying to be like a hyena on raw hamburger meat. Left side. Pasta off the spin. This is pinned near the right side of Wall. This is just effectively killing time for both squads. The refs can blow it dead whenever they want to if the puck doesn't move. Pastrnak does get it. He emerges with it near the left side, but Wall able to make a left pad save. Jake McCabe, spin and turn. Here is Johnny T trying to get this out of his own end. He falls down as Boston doesn't like the refs right now. Again, you get that customary chant. Jake McCabe, he was the first goal scorer alongside Trent Frederick. McCabe takes his change. It's the assistant captain, Morgan Rielly. He's part of that core 4. Max Domi trying to find a skating lane as he gets near the left side. He gets around Boquist, but he can't get around the rest of the Bruins defense. Slowly backing around the end boards. Boquist with a chip. Here's opportunity for Brandon. So we'll start at left to right. The Bees in the road blacks with the yellow and white striping. Toronto in the road whites with the blue pants and the white striping. Boquist now. 40 seconds left to go on the 4-on-4. About 11:05 left to go in the third. John Underwood in the call. It's round 1, Stanley Cup playoff, game 5. Series 3-1, and it's a 1-1 tie. Here is Coyle. That's off the left side of the post off the rush. And now Yarncroc try to get this one. Here is a slapper. That was a severe bomb for Jake McCabe. He was trying to get numero dos goal here. As this goes near the right side for Youngcrow. He'll spin near the right side Dotley for Edmondson. Here's Toronto. Marner. He drops a pass. It falls back to him. Marner slap. 1T. That one goes wide to the left post. They try to find Cal there. Boston getting the save. Will hold on. 10-19 in the third as Charlie Coyle was trying to do some damage off the rush. But Mitch Marner, couple that bounced back to him, and then a one-timer set up near the left circle for Jake McCabe as they were trying to get him his second goal. Good opportunities to shoot, but nothing doing. Charlie Coyle off the rush. He hits the left side of the lumbar, and then a slap pass for Yarncroc, and it goes 10-19 left to go in the third. Gut check time for both of these squads. We're getting close to next goal wins territory here. Again, Boston wins this game, series over. They'll play Florida. Toronto wins. We'll be playing again in a couple days in Game 6. Look at this series for me. And near the left side, this will be Wotherspoon, Danton Heinen. Try to go ahead and find it. He skates it in. Soft chip and near the left side of the red line. Here's a loose puck. Mason Lohrei, good job cleaning up the mess as we're halfway through the third now. Haven't had any goals since the first period. It's still 1-1. Willie Nylander near the left side red line. Game. Nylander patient. Gives it to D. Morgan Rielly slapper. Stop by Swayman. That was Edmondson at 89 miles an hour. Good keep in. Spin and turn for Nyes. We'll send it in deep. 9:30 left to go in this third. Cross pass. High slot. Liljegren dance. Domi sends it across. Now Tavares. Domi near the left side corner. Backhand. Try to make a pass. Keeps it in between his skates. Great effort. Here's a slap. Stopped by the right pad of Swayman. Picked up now for Boston. This is in between the circles. Who's going to get it now? Bertuzzi. Can't find it. This gets checked out of the zone with the stick. Timothy Liljegren will slow it down. 9 minutes left to go in this third. Now near the right side wall. We'll drop it deep. Zacha can't find it. Marner will fire. This one side Domi. Good work from this first line right now. Sent toward the net. Tipped in front of Swayman. He's got it though. As this is flipped down. This will be played by Wall, so no icing. Simon Benoit. Pastrnak gets the steal. Turnaround chance goes wide to the right side crease. And Leafs to the other way. Here is Pontus. He gets pinned against the wall. Matt Grzelcyk there to provide support. 8:15 left to go in this third. Now in near the neutral zone. Off the flip. Too far for Morgan Geekie. As this is flipped now. Off the hand grenade to Frederick. This will be chopped down deep. Pat Maroon gets it deep. Frederick and Maroon, the only points in this game for Boston. Jake McCabe alongside Mitch Marner and Max Domi are the points on the other end. As it bounces off of McAvoy. 7:50 left to go in this tie game. Boston leads the series 3-1. The score is 1-1. McAvoy. And near the left side embankment, Wotherspoon sent it in deep. This is David Camp. He can't clear it. Benoit! Whoa, what a save! Near the left side post. Jamming away. And we get a whistle. The biggest save of the game. And it's Joseph Wall. 7:27 left to go in this third. And Wall makes his case for the biggest save of the game. Boquist tried to set it up for Frederick. That would have been something he would have lifted it. Would have been his second goal of the game. Let's go to break. 7:27 in the third.
starts now. It's time to take your top off. We want to remind you that it's time to show your air conditioner some love. The summer season is right around the corner. Make sure that your AC is ready for the long, hot months ahead. Anyway, Montgomery done bigger since 1959. The Professional Women's Hockey League comes to CBC. TOR-BOS. 3:30 on CBC and CBC Gym.
When doubt started to chase him, he decided to leave doubt in the dust.
Most electrifying play the game was by Polestar Cars, 100% electric, pure performance, and they belong to the goaltenders here tonight. Jeremy Slavin's brilliance against Toronto has been well documented this series, and he has held up to one so far here tonight. Sheldon Keefe has said getting big saves at critical times has been a big part of this series. Joseph Wall has only made some critical saves at critical times for Vegas moments ago against
Joseph Wall with the biggest save of the game right now as Trent Frederick could add his second. It's still a 1-1 tie with 7:27 left to go in this third. Here's a flip. Now an opportunity now for Zacha as this is near the left side red line. John Tavares will pick it up as the Bees so anemic in that first period. It's hard to believe that the shots on goal are only a disparity of 6. Find the entry near the right side wall. The McAvoy is there first. Big slap shot around the inboards. Here's a good. Needs to find some space. Picked up now Nylander. Sweet play between his legs. Near the right side. Tavares off the outside cage. Here's Morgan Rielly. Now near the right side. Here's a stop toward the net. Swayman, gigantic save. As this goes near the left side. And a good reverse hit. Morgan Rielly. 6:20 left to go in this third. It's still a 1-1 tie. And we're getting awfully close to overtime territory in a potential elimination game. Toronto must win this game to stay alive and force game 6. This is off the back pass now, too far for Marner. As this will be sent back down around for now Coyle. And deep now for Brad Marchand. High top in between the circles. Wool looks behind him, and the ref blows it dead. 5:59 left to go in this third as Joseph Wool starting to be called upon a little bit more in this third period. Hampus Lindholm with the latest one, a double deflection. Wall trying to close that 5-hole, and Boston behind them trying to pry it loose. We're taking another break.
When it comes to taking a smile cookie, not every smile is perfect. But they all make a difference. Because 100% of smile cookie proceeds go right back into your neighborhood, spreading millions of smiles to over 600 local charities and communities across the country. Get your smile cookie from April 29th to May 5th and help us make a difference.
Chevy Silverado. With available Super Cruise connected by OnStar. Only Super Cruise. And tow hands-free. It'll help you get to the adventure energized. And it'll help drive you home. Dr. G.
It's actually the buildup of tough bacteria, which can cause cavities.
Unlike other toothpastes, Crestro helps antibacterial fluoride fights bacteria for 12 hours.
They stop cavities before they start.
Crest. Step into a world far beyond expectations. Beyond explosive. Beyond exciting. Only Rogers Beyond the Seas gives you exclusive access to unique experiences across Canada. Get more with Rogers.
going to turn this copyright for music because they're going to keep playing this, and then I'll get boosted for the YouTube side or anything else. As we are 1-1 tied late into the third, it is gut check time for Joseph Woll of late, but he's been good. Now we can turn this back up. 5:59 left to go in this third. What are we going to have await us? Offensive zone draw for the Bees. Pastrnak will send this slowly and around the kick plate now. I'll try to find it. Here is Geeky, absorbs a big-time hit. He's in the offensive zone for Boston. Off the back pass, here's Geeky off the left pad of Wall. This is a bounce puck. It gets kicked. This in as Geeky and Heinen loses the puck, and now David Camp. Near the right side is Yarncroc able to make a play from the seat of his pants. 5:25. It's still a 1-1 game. Players all tied up in that left side red line. Here's Coyle. He'll spin near the left side, trying to get around Liljegren. Coyle, dance. He'll moonwalk this thing to the right side. It's a 2-on-1. Domi and Bertuzzi. Domi, Bertuzzi. Stop by. Solved a little bit too easy for Jeremy there, but he got it. And it puts the Boston fans to their feet. They already were to their feet. Charlie Coyle. He got caught in no man's land, and Domi and Bertuzzi off a 2-on-1. You can't help but wonder if that was Auston Matthews for a recipient. One of those would have went to the back of the net. But Domi and Bertuzzi have been pretty good on this top line today, at least. So, for season, 3.63 goals per game, 24 playoffs, 1.75. The goals for have essentially cut down by 2. Here is near the right side, and a defensive zone draw for Boston, but much better in that area since this first period when Max Domi is winning everything. Now he's not really taking draws. They're just going to Rielly. They'll go ahead and recollect it as Marner will send it deep. About 4:45 left to go in this third. John Under with you on the solo call. Sportsnet feed. We are about 4 minutes and 35 seconds away from OT. It's a 1-1 game. If Boston wins, this series is over. They'll play Florida. If Toronto wins, we extend it here for Thursday. Near the right side, here's a pickup now, Benoit. As this will be sent back to Scotiabank against Toronto. Here's a slapper wide for Willie Nylander near the left wall. Benoit gets a good stick in the lane. Matthew Nyes. He gets denied off the spin. He does keep the puck, however, but Danton Heinen there. Here is Pasta. Race for the puck against Benoit. Good stick chop there for Benoit. As Tavares will take the cross ice flip. Sheldon Keefe squad will take a change, and it's Mason Lohrei. He'll have it as we're underneath 4 minutes. 3:45 left in this tie game. And this is sent in. 3:46. I think this face-off is going to go in the neutral zone. 29-22. I could be wrong about that. He's getting double shifted right now with Max Domi. And why not? When you're 2-on-1, that could have won the game there. I understand why Sheldon keeps making them. You can't have David Camp fourth line side to end this game. You got to go with your best forwards. It's a shame it takes until Game 5 to realize that when you're facing elimination, but still, that's what's in front of them. So we'll see if Max Domi does take this draw. Bertuzzi's out there with him. Jeremy Swayman. It is Domi. 11 of 13. He started the first period 9, and has since only taken 4 draws. So Domi's getting kicked out. Bertuzzi will take this draw. He can't win against Frederick, but he does get to the puck first on the second effort. As Bertuzzi now, number 59, gets it to Domi. But Max not giving up on the play. Take this in the high slot. Morgan Rielly, one-timer, good block out there in front. As this will be a 3-on-2 for Boston. Rousseau, he'll send the pass and now push the other way. But Boston gets the steal across the neutral zone and they're forward. First overtime of my coverage. Hasn't been a lot of that in the NHL playoffs right now. I mean, last year was ridiculous with the overtime games. This year we got the ridiculous regular season where it pretty much took until game 82 for everybody to figure out what the seeding and matchups were going to be. near the right side, slap shot from 70 feet. We'll get a whistle. 2:54 there as Carlo, I think, shot it into the netting. That's what the whistle was for. 2:54 left to go in this third. So your thoughts? Tell me who's getting the next goal. I think Swayman and Wall have played terrifically in this. Still seeing Brendan Shanahan and Brad Treliving on the top step. I'm not used to not seeing Carl Dubas, who is now the GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins, who just missed out on the postseason. So did the Flyers and so did the Red Wings as the Capitals got curb stomped by the New York Rangers. Shot attempts are 64-43 Leafs. Scoreline still 1-1, has not changed since the end of the first. Near the right side, here's an opportunity doer. This is a race for the puck now. Grizzly, Swayman, sloppily up the left side glass. It's turned over, but Parker Wotherspoon is there. Reemsdyk will send this one for Geeky. Here's the drop. Pasta. Good back check for David Camp. Could have saved a goal there. Outstretched pass. Matthew Nyes will send it in deep. Picked up off the back pass now. As it's the Leafs. With John Tavares, number 91. Tried to clear it in. Second effort. Will absorb a hit. Get it in. 2:05 left to go in this third. Near the left side wall, it's turned over. Near the right circle, Tavares spin and turn shot. This one's stopped by Swayman. 2:03 left to go in this third. Still tied 1. Shots on goal read 30-23 in favor of the Leafs. But David Camp's defense there on the rush against David Pastrnak could be big because that could have been a go-ahead goal late, and that would absolutely kill the Leafs. And on the call here, I know he can't stay because he's got a radio show and everything else that he's working on, but I will bring him in nonetheless. Here's a chance, and this one gets saved. Again, I'm a little bit ahead of you probably with the Sportsnet, as this one's flipped in about $1.50 left to go in this third. Coyle near the wall, and Wall says no with the right pad, as this is picked up by Boston. They've got puck possession now. Charlie Coyle, one of the better Bruins today. The left side blue line. Back to Coyle. Traffic out in front, and a stick chop just gets this down the ice. Not far enough for icing, as it's Parker Wotherspoon able to find the entry now. Zacha loses it for a moment. $1.20 left to go in this third. It's Pasta. Here is Pastrnak trying to finish his check on a 1:10. This could be the first overtime game for me covering the Stanley Cup playoffs right now, alongside Alec Nava, who just joined in late. 1 minute left to go in this third. I know I'll have to close the window in a moment. As here for John, back deep here for Swayman. We'll slow it down. And now the Bruins. Time for a couple more rushes here. They'll gain the left side red line. Fired in across the wall. Wall getting his first start. It's loose now near the left side. Morgan Rielly off the stretch. This will be blocked aside a couple times by the Boston defense. Hampus Lindholm gets it to Grizzly. It's turned over near the right side. But Grizzly able to find it. Lindholm will take a long flip. Settled down by Rielly. Rielly now will send this in. 15 seconds left in the third. 30-24 on the shot board. 10 seconds now left in this third. Lindholm. Boston got one more rush. Here's an opportunity for the Leafs. McCabe down to 2. We're going to overtime, tied at 1.
Oh, isn't this convenient timing for me to... I just finished recording my episode. Now I get to join along with you for overtime here between Boston and Toronto. Oh, it's been a while since we last seen these two play a playoff game in overtime. Toronto fans will want to forget about that knowing what happened, but this has been entertaining.
Yeah, it has, Alec. And from my first look here at the Leafs in the postseason, I know no Auston Matthews. That was the big development today. First line in between Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi, they look pretty good. It kind of makes you wonder why you have to make so many line changes and wait till you're down 3-1.
These were my big 2 free agency signings for Toronto. that I would point out any day. Even though they're on one-year contracts, these may be the biggest free agency signings for them last offseason. Toronto is going to keep them on the long term. You still have to worry about the impending new contract next year with him becoming the league's highest paid player. Plus, if any sort of changes that you're going to make.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to do, and I don't know exactly if you're Brad Living how you're going to do it because you're up against the cap. I mean, we talked about some of the stuff yesterday. Moving on with one of the core four, I think that may be the only way to do it to try to save some cap space because let's be honest, we've seen the same old song and dance with the Maple Leafs, and considering we've seen it so many years, I understand how some of the Maple Leafs fans are a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, I can understand that as well with the recent developments. And we speak of another game that's tied. It's 3-3 between the Islanders and Canes. The Islanders trail 2.
Right now, as you said that, on my scoreboard, I think Carolina has just taken the lead.
Oh, I was behind there. I was having this on HBO Max. It is Jack Drury, the fourth line center, who's been more of a defensive centerpiece for the Canes. He's chimed in offensively with the go-ahead marker.
Wow.
4-3, and has gone out this building.
Yeah, PNC Arena has got to be rocking again. They started with 3 goals in the first period, did Carolina, as they've taken the lead.
Yeah, there's a quick block in front, but Jack Drury sees his puck go to him as the short side. Initially was a shot block by Alexander Romanov, and as Noah Dobson was coming in front, providing a screen on Semyon Varlamov, Drury sees that, picks the short side, the part where Varlamov doesn't have his eyes towards. His vision taken away from him. Oh my goodness, and you're a goaltender, 10 to goal. Stefan Nason on a big misplay by Varlamov.
Well, you're ahead of me right now in the Alec vision, so I'm going to watch this. Holy cow! What a goal! I can't believe it, but it seems like the Islanders are falling apart before our eyes.
Oh, that is Varlamov was anticipating this puck to bounce towards him right behind him that he thought it was going to that point.
Wow.
Instead, bounces off the near corner and then right on the side to goal, and instead, who provided himself a nice goal that sparked the comeback in game 2. The Islanders, I don't know how that happens. One of those awkward goals in one part. I feel bad for Varlamov at one end, but at the other end, tender goal.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with that second part. I will try to sympathize a little bit because that clearing after Nason wins it, that takes a fortuitous bounce, somehow goes off the mesh, the left post. Varlamov nowhere near the crease, and if you're Patrick Waugh, you got to be wondering again.
Yes, the Ric Flair woos are no longer a thing, but they still live on in Carolina in spirits.
I don't even know what to say. You can't even. Alec, if I told you 2 goals in 8 seconds and then this would happen, me in complete disbelief and call me a liar, but for the second time in this series, Carolina consecutive quick strikes, and now they're just running roughshod with shots all over the ice with 14:40 left.
Oh, we're still on absolute disbelief from this. As ESPN, they're showing PK Subban with his overtime win against Boston in 2014. What a nice career to look back towards in terms of playtime heroes for Les Canadiens.
Yeah, you're going to need to find something. Again, they're trying to find some good looks and figure out what's going to happen with some of these Canadian teams like Winnipeg and Toronto or Edmonton and Vancouver. I was covering on the Sportsnet feed across CBC, and all I heard the first 3 periods was keep your momentum, keep your spirits up. You're not out of it right now. It kind of felt like you do. They have to cling to some hope of life.
I mean, the Bruins, they've been getting dominated offensively.
Yeah.
It's the right call this series because he has not lost to the league. Backstopped in nearly every game. That's no shade towards Linus Ullmark. He's been excellent in his own right. But still, if you want for the hotter hand, you go to the hotter hand. And right now,
Yeah, I think you have to. Again, for as good as everything is, again, Swayman's going to be due a big payday in the offseason as well. And I think if you're the Bees, you're going to have some other players maybe take less so he can get paid because you want to keep that tandem together.
you do. And smart of Ullmark to reject that trade to LA. That's a blessing in disguise for the Bruins.
And I kind of wonder if I'm LA, how I would feel to have him in the goal crease right now because they're in a 3-1 series deficit against the Edmonton Oilers. Again, all 4 series today all sit at 3-1.
Oh, and for Nashville, they wish that they'll be 2-2, and had it not been for that demoralizing lapse in Game 4. I mean, when you give them a 3-1 lead with 3 minutes left to go in regulation and lose in overtime, that's a
That just seems like that's almost impossible to do, and yet it happened. And now the Canucks are on a fast track to get into the second round. I still think the Preds might be able to fight off for one more game, but effectively that collapse might lose them the series.
it's just painful. It's not always painful in the sense that you lose that 3-1 lead. Vancouver was down to their first string goaltender in that game at Archer Shelovs, with Casey Smith out with a minor injury and Patrick Demko potentially being a long.
And for Shelovs, I mean, we got a good look at him, and he performed pretty well. So I guess in the backstretch, if you're Vancouver, you don't really have to worry about your goaltending tandem, do you?
I feel for now you don't have to worry about it. You can just win this series out. Think about the second round. As long as you get the win in Game 5 or Game 6, however it goes to. But Edmonton, I feel that's the next challenge that you have to. Because the Oilers' offense is a well-rounded machine. And finally, the Oilers are playing the defense that we expected them to play in the season with Paul Coffey as a defensive whisperer, as we mentioned earlier on the year.
I'm going to go ahead and say something very positive for the Edmonton Oilers, and that's not something I normally do. I think that they can get to the third round. I really do. I think they might be able to get past the Vancouver Canucks because they're an offensive team as well, and we'll see what the 2 Canadian teams can do. But I just wonder, once they get past to the third round, if they get there, if that's their ceiling. Because right now, the Avalanche, I know they have a series with the Jets, and it's 3-1 as well, but they got to be looking back and enjoying this series in between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars and hope that that one goes 7. Because honestly, Alec, I'll just say it. Whoever wins that series between Dallas and Vegas, and it could go 7, I think they're going to run out of gas by the time they play the Avalanche, and the Avalanche will get to round 3.
Yeah, no matter what happens, we now have ourselves a series, Dallas and Vegas. But you do have a valid point. They're going to be gassed heading into the second round. Colorado will be well rested by then. Should they close out this series in 5, even 6, they still have the upper advantage in terms of rest. Now, I'm not really Winnipeg out from this, but they've been very disappointing so far. Defensively, it's reverted back to old form. Connor Hellebuck has not been himself. He has to mentally lock in advance for this game. Puck drop is going to be in about 2 minutes at Canada Life Center, but still you want to have the energy to be back up, to keep the momentum on your side if you're Colorado. For Winnipeg, it's and playing to your strengths. Don't play to Colorado's game, but I feel Colorado's forcing Winnipeg to play Colorado's game.
Yeah, and to your point, I think the forcing of playing the game there is Colorado's just scoring so many goals and playing so quickly that their Jets are trying to respond and playing that way when the Jets were tied with the Florida Panthers for 199 goals against for the best defense in the league. You don't want to get into a shootout when you're playing against the Colorado Avalanche. It hasn't worked out well for the Jets right now, and they're up against it in a must-win.
You don't. That goes well with the high-scoring game. That's the type of game that you would expect to see if we were to see another Avalanche Oilers series in the
Right.
Western Conference Final. Shouldn't get to that. We got that 2 years ago, and it was mostly a shootout, especially games 1 and 4.
I agree. I think that would be the only team that I can see that happening. But again, we saw that a couple of years ago when the Avalanche played the Oilers. Hey, you want to get into a shootout? No problem. Colorado was going to sweep you 4-0.
And it feels that way. You know, well, ESPN, they showed the graphic of overtime winners. We speak of overtime, and it seems as if the Sixers, they live to fight another day.
Big victory right now from what it looks like. You got 8.2 seconds left. Them up by 4. What do we make yesterday? Because I saw a little bit of the game. Jamal Murray, yet another game winner. Nuggets move on. Lakers get eliminated.
Well, what I make of is that the Nuggets, they have the better roster and the better coach around them. It feels they're more well-rounded, and comparisons to the Duncan-era Spurs, I feel they have valid weight inside of them. Now, let's not get it sugarcoated. The Lakers, it was clear last year that they overachieved, and this season showed it. While they had a better record than last season, this year, it really didn't look like too much for them into doing so in the Western Conference. Because the moment that they beat the Pelicans, that's when I knew that they were doomed.
I agree. Again, I got to tell you two things. So when I look at it, and I know I saw your picture there from several days ago for Tim Duncan and Jokic with the same mannerism and smile. I really like that because I thought that was apropos. But did you see the tweet from the LA mayor? I know we covered the in-season tournament. That was pretty cool at the time. But she goes out, and the tweet's been since deleted. At least we won the in-season tournament. I'm proud of my Lakers.
Well, at least there's a chance that's of some value. Well, it doesn't have the same weight as the Larry O'Brien trophy, but at least it's something.
It does count for something, but I imagine those that were keen and behind her made that tweet delete quickly because that is more of an exhibition side, although we had fun. But that is not what the Lakers fans want to hear.
No, you want championships. And the big question is, where will LeBron James go? And there's a lot of speculation if he's going to stay with the Lakers or. But I have the feeling that, holy moly, Winnipeg has struck first. Just as we're speaking, as a loose and mad scramble right in front of the net. Many laps at it, and it appears this goal will belong to Kyle Connor.
Right now, I mean, hey, it's the most important thing that we can say the obvious. Jump on the front foot if you have any chance right now.
And just as we're about to get overtime underway for our game, there was lots of wax. How in the world did this get Alex right there and right between him and Josh Manson?
I'm going to go ahead and probably look at that right now. I'm getting the highlight package on CBC in between the Leafs and the Bees. Again, first overtime game for me. They'll be joined alongside Alec Nava. This has been a pretty good Game 5. Honestly, if the Leafs played this way throughout this series, I could have honestly thought, even if the Leafs in 7, that they could get to this point. Question is now, what's the availability of Auston Matthews going forward should the Leafs?
As we speak of that, we're getting back into Boston, Massachusetts. Let's go for overtime picks, shall we?
Go ahead and start it, Alec.
I'll go James Van Riemsdyk for the Bruins. I know it's up against his former team, but it would be storybook for that to happen. And Tyler Bertuzzi for the Leafs. Again, for facing former team, also storybook.
You're putting salt in the wound on both sides, aren't you? I like it. I'm going to go ahead off the board. I'll go Kelly Armkrok for Toronto and for the Bees. I've liked his game the entire time. This isn't off the board. I'm going to go Charlie Coyle.
Charlie Coyle, hometown boy.
Here's a slapper, and near the left side is the Bees. We'll try to matriculate it now. Brad Marchand. Try to end this one quickly. Slap for McAvoy. Big rebound, and William Nylander will get this down. McAvoy will go ahead and pick it back up. Again, shots are 30-26. And again, if you joined us late, the shot board seems a lot closer than it was because Boston was getting worked. They had about 2 shots, 4 minutes left in the first. Here's a chance. Big save, Wall! As this goes off the right pad, Nylander outstretch. He's trying to look for Max Domi. And this will be held against the glass. Joseph Wall has played pretty good in this game. He's outmatched everything that Jeremy Swayman's trying to do, all things considered. Here is Hampus Lindholm. Find the entry now near the right side wing. And it's stopped by the stick shaft of Joseph Wall. Back in mind the net now. Sense of urgency in overtime. I like it. We'll send this down deep. He almost had a second goal of the game. That would have been in the final 4 minutes of the third. It was a good save for Wall with the left pad and the full sprawl. Benoit get this off the outstretch. It's a knuckle puck, goes all the way down the ice, and played by Jeremy Swayman. 18:25 left to go in this overtime. Should we need it all? Joseph Wall, as this one gets cleared in from 100. Outstretch feed now for the Leafs. This seems open OT to begin it, as it's still 1-1. It's been that way since the end of the first. Marchand find the entry. Sweet play! But he lost the stick handle on a third effort. It looks like he had another stick in his hand, as this is sent down the other way. Leafs, Keefe. Kelly Arncroft try to get this near the right side. Charlie Coyle find the entry. Coyle finds it for Marchand, but it's too hard off the kick plate. And Toronto will slow it down. Here's an outstretch now for the Leafs, trying to take this left to right in this OT. Tavares, power move to the net. Loose, scores! Leafs survive!
What an overtime here. They absolutely need that, especially about Auston Matthews. It was John Tavares who initiated a drive down the near boards. Matt, rookie from the University of Minnesota, gets the Leafs up and running, sends back to Toronto with another game that they can go with. A third straight playoff overtime loss, as much as it stings for the Bruins. To have this another day is another potential series clinching overtime game, which has got to sting for Boston. Steve Dangle must be, Joe Bowen must be proud. 2-1 the overtime win. Nice drive, nice finish.
Well, you already know. Correct. Masterful performance there for Joseph Wall. Good line changes there for Bertuzzi and Domi. The captaincy, John Tavares, as you said, power move from the backhand, bounced off Swayman. Now that he can do Matthew Nyes, utter heroics. Alec, if the Leafs can play the way that they played in this Game 5, they can get to a Game 7.
They most likely could. If they played this way in Game 5, they can most certainly use this momentum for a potential Game 7. Now they're wondering about Auston Matthews' status. If he is good to go for Game 6, what is of him later down the line?
That is the monster question there. Do you want to stick around with me until we end Islanders Hurricanes?
No, why not? How about it? So another playoff. We've seen 2 goals scored in a trice quickly. That being the Hurricanes scoring twice in 8 seconds. 9 seconds in Game 2 to complete a comeback in which he scored 3 times in a span of over a minute. Jack Drury had the go-ahead goal, Steph Mason of another one right ahead, just 8 seconds afterwards off a missed play from Semyon Varlamov. Dobson rolling around his own zone, he'll drop it back over to Barzal, one of the fastest skaters in the NHL. Sends this one in off the boards, it's banked out in front. Barzal can't get to it, shut down 90 by Slavin. Held in at the left point, now across for Dobson. Airmails this shot. Bounces over to Barzal, he's cut off, and around the boards this goes. Brent Burns is stick lifted. Rushing to this puck is Dobson, who keeps this one in. On the opposite wall is Barzal. Back to the point is Brock Nelson. Across is Dobson. Back is Nelson. Once again over to Dobson on the drop pass. Left side is Barzal. He's forced over to the point. Now on the opposite side is Horvat in front. Oh! How did that not go in?
What channel do you have this on, Alec?
I am streaming this
Okay, thank you.
But it's on TBS, by the way.
All right, thanks. I'm right there because I want to join in and see what you just called.
Hey, but I'm not sure how Palmieri fanned on that shot, but
Man, oh man, again, we got about 8 minutes and 15 seconds left. I know Alex ahead, but Carolina trying to close out the series.
trying to force a second-round matchup with the New York Rangers. Their first game will be at Madison Square Garden as this puck goes out of play with 9:33 to go.
I think we also have an update with the Avalanche and the Jets. I think the Avs have just tied. It looks like Velna Chuskin.
Can find the back of the net from up close at the slot. Known to get in the dirty areas. Colorado has missed him badly last season, and they're more than happy to have him back here.
He's got 7 goals already in the postseason.
That's insane. We speak of Zach Ivan's scoring prowess. Let's the Chuskin as Anderson shuts down that long shot from Mike Rielly.
How much time do you have left in your game? I just want to see how far you're ahead.
9:22.
Okay, so I'm a little bit ahead of you on this. So I don't think our feeds are going to match up here, but you take it away. I'll just join in when I can.
So now it is 27 seconds left on the Islander power play. As they all get set up at the right circle, first unit is back. Looked up with one that's initially the case. Rusher to jump the faceoff. Jordan Stahl, another faceoff ace. He clears this one down. A long-time defensive ace dating back to his days with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Islanders fire this one. It will be recollected at the far side by Seth Jarvis, who shoots this one down. 6 to go on the waving here at PNC Arena. And acts like you're going to do it on the man edge. Islanders need to. The Canes scored twice in a matter of 8 seconds. Jack Drury, followed by Stepan. The Canes picked this one up. Couldn't do so as Andrei Svechnikov was slowed down. Islanders send this in. Not for long, though. This bounces back to Ryan Pulock. Up. Fires and was denied by Varlamov as this goes out with 8:36.
So again, since my feed I think is about a minute and a half ahead of you, go ahead and monitor this Colorado Winnipeg as we're taking a look at the Canada Life Center in a complete frenzy. They'll take a break. So we'll keep you monitored here. Canucks, I think, are going to be tipping off in about 10 minutes or so. So the Maple Leafs live on to fight another day, but right now the Islanders up against it.
So, yeah, they're truly up against it. In fact, the double overtime winner, it either's going to spark something or it's going to delay the inevitable based on how the momentum has shifted. Though how the Hurricanes have answered back here at home, you think that the Hurricanes are going to hold on.
You would think so. Again, if you're the Islanders, you're just hoping that you don't have to go up against any more of these comebacks and quick goals and spurts because it's just been so many. Maybe you're just ready for the series to be over, unfortunately.
So, it's not a Washington Capitals situation, but when a series goes up 3-0 for your opponents, to
Right.
where you're basically trying to hold on to dear life. And fortunately for them, they got that game for overtime win, which was the first Islanders overtime playoff win at UBS Arena. You still have your backs turned towards the walls.
You do. And again, I also think I know it's been about Semyon Varlamov, but if you're Ilya Sorokin and you're Patrick Waugh, I think you sit down in the offseason, you change whatever you got to do for Ilya Sorokin to get him locked back in. He's got that monster deal, and he's got to get back in gear again.
You want to stick with Varlamov as he is the hotter hand around. Ilya Sorokin, he's been hot when he's at his best, but he has not been. But I want to also point out something else.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how one of the strangest ways an MLB game?
How so?
The Arizona Diamondbacks game was delayed because of a bee colony forming on the protective netting behind home plate.
Let me tell you about that, Alec, because in the right field side, that's where the bee colony is. I remember when Ketel Marte used to play the outfield side, he would have to run and catch hornets.
Oh,
it's bad out there.
It is definitely bad. And there's also the sense of trying to remove that. The puck is loose in front. Can't be corralled home by the Islanders. The Hurricanes do get it out, but
Yes.
Field.
They can't spray it enough at Chase Field, so maybe that's why they have the pole out there so they can jump in.
Yeah, basically. Islanders are trapped in their own zone. The Hurricanes keeping this one down behind Varlamov's crease. Pellet picks it up. One of the Canes went down. It's moved over to the near wall, past Pajo. Can't control it. Canes bringing this one back. It's Nathan. It's tied. Kicked away by Varlamov. And to the inside. Drop pass doesn't work. Pajo intercepted the lane. Now around this goes over to the far side. Pollock interfered with on the pass on the stick. Barzal moving inside. Barzal one-on-one. Excellent defense by the Canes to force him out. And Canes is hard onto the wall as he was driven there. The Canes moved this one all the way down. It'll not be enough for an icing as Varlamov plays this one forward. Bouncing puck. Picked up by Noah Dobson onto the lane offside against Carolina. Offside is Romanov. Trying to take this in. Zizinkas who tips this one forward. Shaq fielded away. Canes back distance. Up. Tap low. The Islanders have this one cleared out by Carolina. Romanov sets up Zizinkas. Back for Romanov. And Zizinkas going for change. Horvat picking 14 because 53 was already taken by Zizinkas. Horvat's previous jersey number 53 was for Canucks before the trade. Andrei Svechnikov up in the air will be gloved down by New York. Romanov has been tipped away by Sebastian Aho. Across this hops over Simon Holmstrom and the Canes clear. Bouncing puck. This goes over to neutral ice. Or where's the puck? We don't see a visual where Carolina having this. The cameraman got sidetracked for a second at PNC Arena, but now he's located it. This puck in the Islanders zone, trying to clear this one out. It takes a while for a cameraman to follow the puck sometimes. That's how hard of a cameraman job it is in the NHL. You have to focus on where it is at all times. Drury sends it over to past Martin, picked up by Engbo, who leave it up front for Anders Lee. Lee takes one aside. Lee fires one. Might have been blocked off Burns. Slavin gets it away from Pajo, and Burns will help out Slavin. Pressured there by Pajo. He'll tap it backwards over to Slavin. Knocked all the way out to center. To Natchez. The puck. He'll leave it behind. And moving up is Drury. This went out of Rielly and up into the safety that he will find 39 as we take a stoppage.
So again, I am a little bit ahead of you as far as the feed, but I think you will not be surprised. Patrick will be up to some usual tricks as Carolina continues to try to hunt this puck. So I'll let Alec take away the rest of this play-by-play, and then we will close out the feed once this game's done, unless we get some overtime or anything else. I'll continue to monitor across what we see in our scoreboard. Avalanche Jets, the Nichushkin with the 9. We'll take a live look at that right now as Alex covering the Hurricanes and Islanders for us.
Just getting a little look at that as well at the same time. See what is happening there as well. Oh, they're playing, hey rookie, welcome to the NFL on ESPN2. They jumped onto the live feed on the main ESPN channel.
So that's what they should have now, because they're going to mix in between the Preds and Canucks, that also on TBS when that gets underway. Shifley try to find the zone off a one-timer, but this bounces off of Georgiev. That one's still 1-1. You take it away when you get back to Carolina.
Well, so far we're at a commercial break at this current moment, but right now it's down to the wire. The Magic. Every home team has won every game of the series.
Every home team on that side in the hardwood in between that series, and then the road team has won every game in between Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. How do you figure that one?
Beats me. Then again, the Rangers and Devils are the road team.
I still think about that at times, Alec, and it just drives me crazy how the Devils, I understood they won that, but I felt like the Rangers were going to win that one. I still have nightmares about it. I'm not even a Rangers fan.
It's like, what in the world was that game 7? We were expecting a lot more from that. And as Redbox joins along,
I had no clue you guys were doing this game.
We stayed in a little bit for the closeout between Carolina and New York, but I imagine you got to be happy with the Leafs. That was the best game I've seen them play in the series.
about overtime. The Leafs were just so out of it, not that funny. Somehow we stayed in it. Goal kept us in that game for the most part, I would say. But yeah, we got that lucky breakaway after the Bruins had got 5 shots.
It's Joseph Woe's crease now, wouldn't you think?
Sheldon Keefe's going to be an idiot. He's going to put sense off that.
If he does that, his head would be on a stick.
Oh, it will be absolute nightmares. Time for Barzal to stick with his away from Speznikov. Speznikov was driving down deep. Here's Jake and Big. Will he cook up a goal? And the NTC haven't had a chance to say his name a lot here throughout this game, but well, anything can happen around. Here's Barzal, chips his one in. And Patrick Waugh gives Semyon Varlamov the signal to come to the bench. They need to. Islanders on a 6-on-5 now. Barzal holding at the left half wall. And shoved down. Is official's hand up in the air? I don't think it is. And delayed offside is against the Islanders. It will be touched up by Montgomery. This was sent from behind the red line, so it is offside.
Again, I know you're a minute behind on that side, so I didn't want to jump in. I'm looking at the Colorado-Winnipeg side of it. Shots are 10-5. That game tied at 1. We're going to stay with you until we get the final in between Carolina and the New York for us.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the shots are 36-23. Carolina at this point in time. 5 games to lead.
I think this one's over.
You think so?
The 2 goals in 8 seconds and the multiple goals that have been happening a couple times to the Islanders. That's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it sure is.
We've had quite an opening in Winnipeg, too. 1-1. That one.
Yeah, the first period. Even though it's not like game 1 where it was 3-3 after 1 period, it's still a nice game to look on. Well,
This one.
For the Jets.
This one, actually, this Carolina game, when I saw it was 3-1 after the first period, I was wondering if they were going to have a repeat of that. So I was like, I was watching the Leafs, but I was kind of keeping an eye on this one in case it had the potential for overtime, which looks like it doesn't. Because if there's overtime hockey on, I don't care who's playing, I watch it. That's my policy. Unless the Leafs are playing, maybe, but even then.
Be sure not to have too much heart attacks. Well, I haven't had this many heart attacks in a game ever since game 1 of the Rangers and Penguins in a triple overtime thriller. 3:15 to have control of the Islanders zone. Varlamov's trapped. He can't get out. Islanders have to hurry and move it up. They can't do so now. The Hurricanes are all over them. 3:04 to play. Pollock has it. When will they get out? It feels like an eternity that they've been trapped in their own zone. This is excellent shutdown defense by the Hurricanes. The neutral zone. Barzal moves it up. Varlamov finally to the benches after what seems like forever. The Canes pick this back up. Here's Barzal by Anderson. The Canes trying to clear all the way down the ice, and it's onto the near corner. Offensive zone draw for the Isles.
That's exactly what you want to do, Alec. Be able to kill some more time here and cut life away from the Islanders season. Again, from what we talked about, what are some of the as far as your forwards? But the Islanders, they've been competitive, but I just don't know if they have enough to have longevity in the playoffs.
That's why I'm pointing out, if they're looking for GM candidates, I'm looking right at Megan Chenka. Islanders called timeout.
Now, where was she interviewed before? Because I know she got an interview somewhere.
I can't remember where she interviewed, but she is data and stats analysis.
Oh.
That would be a very
I try to avoid the ESPN broadcast, so I don't know them that well.
Well,
if possible.
There's Bob Wischusen, and you have PK Subban at the booth.
Yeah, that's interesting. PK Subban, we went right from the ice to the booth.
And that's a good move by ESPN's part. And the crew of Steve Levy, Mark.
I think just fill it with Canadians, and you'll be fine. I watched a few games. Some of them on TBS, I find they use weird. It's not correct. script. Like they call
TNT, TBS feeds, you get a sense of continuity from the NBC feeds. ESPN, it feels like a reset of what was the previous iteration. Puck dumped down, icing. We'll have a game zone.
Like there's no lateral pass in hockey. That's not a thing. Neither is the half wall, and they love to use both of those. They don't. That's not what they're called. It's wrong terminology.
Well, then what is it called then?
The half wall, lateral pass. They don't have a term. I guess they're trying to invent one for it.
Yeah, think about that. Format in front. Can't get this by the Canes defense. Loose puck now picked up by the ex-Devil Paul Mary. Around in front, Anderson trying to dump this in front. Closing the gates was Freddie Anderson with 2:07.
Freddie Anderson. I remember that name, and I don't have too many good memories of it.
He stole some games, but again, I don't know. It's the whole thing of tumultuarism with the Leafs. We've all dealt with it, but I can't imagine even more for you. Oh, and that's no fun. But we'll see. I mean, they extended the series today, so feel good.
Yeah, we'll see. Apparently, we have to figure out how to win a game at home. That's not a problem.
Right.
I mean, it's been for you guys last year when you were at Tampa.
Right.
The Islanders can't hold it as this goes all the way out to center. Orban sends this one around. First to there is Brady Shea along the far corner. Nice rush by the Islanders to keep. Orban down low. Kicked over all the way to the right point for Dobson. Dobson sends one over across. He's pickpocketed. And to seal this one up, playoff Seth Jarvis to put a dagger on the Islanders' playoff run.
And as I mentioned, I think it was during the last one. I mean, that is basically a home game for Toronto. That's the thing.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's a lot of Maple right there in Florida, and they've liked it. Again, as Alec mentioned, this game's done. I'm actually getting the handshake line, so we know that's officially done there. 6-3 is going to be the final, as we'll take that across. The only reason I'm saying that because Alec knows that it's over. Otherwise, they wouldn't even burst his bubble. That empty netter puts it away. Let me ask you while we have you on the broadcast, Alec, because 2-2 between Golden Knights and Stars. I didn't expect that one to start at about 7:40. Do you want to cover that game tomorrow, or do you want to cover the Kings and Oilers? Because I can pivot if you want.
Oh, man.
I'm going directly with the Stars and Golden Knights series.
Okay.
This has to be the most intriguing series now that it's all even up at game 5, 2 apiece. Maybe with the potential to go 7, because the Golden Knights are not a typical 8 seed. They're the most dangerous 8 seed in the playoffs now.
I'm totally down with that.
Golden Knights winning this series, actually. So.
We'll see who wins tomorrow, because whoever wins tomorrow, I could ask that question before I sign off. Whoever wins tomorrow, is that the one who?
I think it's too close to call.
I know it's a tough question, but I think Alec, you might. And I was leaning that, so if you want to jump on that too, that's what we'll do. So we got about Golden Knights Stars 7:45 Eastern. So I'll be back on that tomorrow. I'm going to end up closing the space, however, because I'm going to get the story and everything else typed up. So I'll see everybody tomorrow if you want to join in quick periods, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow
I should be
night.
around at least for the latter stage of that one. I definitely plan on watching LA and Edmonton tomorrow. But I should be around for at least the other.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hasta mañana.
All right, we'll close out the YouTube side of the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alec does want to cover Dallas and Vegas. That's where I was leaning to. Guys, about 7:45 tomorrow. Take care, everybody.